What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada?
Yes, please.
Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/streaming and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/streaming. If you're a custodial supervisor at a local high school, you know that cleanliness is key and that the best place to get cleaning supplies is from Grainger. Grainger helps you stay fully stocked on the products you trust, from paper towels and disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Plus, you can rely on Grainger for easy reordering, so you never run out of what you need. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats. Gear up for an epic football season with unbeatable ticket deals in the Vivid Seats app. For the best selection, grab your seats now. Every ticket you buy gets you one step closer to a free 11th ticket with Vivid Seats rewards exclusively in the Vivid Seats app. Score awesome perks like surprise seat upgrades, their annual birthday discount, and more. Don't miss out. This is your sign to download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
This is Joe Budden. You and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. So I'm here to make sure you don't miss any of the daily fantasy action this football season with PrizePicks, where it's good to be right.
Download the PrizePicks app today and use code OT to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. That's code OT to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
An app or wherever you listen to podcasts. Coming up on SportsCenter all night. Monday Night Football at Soldier Field.
Snap back, pressure, pick it up by Tooney, rolling left. Williams got Greengrass, top five, dive for the end zone. Throw him up, will you, baby? Touchdown! Touchdown Bears! 80-yard touchdown scramble. Caleb Williams, Bears have the lead, 6-0.
All the best on the diamond.
Matt Olson with a fly ball to deep center field. Castro to the wall. That's reaching and gone! Homer number 23 for Matt Olson. And the Braves have a little bit more breathing room. It's now 4-1 Braves in the 8th as that one was belted to deep center.
Plus, NFL Week 1 is in the books.
The Kansas City Chiefs are not done. They're not done. I saw Patrick Mahomes on Friday on the YouTube game where he was as good as ever. He looked like the MVP Mahomes. That's what I saw. I saw a team that was coming in with a Xavier Worthy package, and that went out the window 3 plays in. I saw a defense that wasn't on the same page. That's concerning.
From the worldwide headquarters of ESPN, this is SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Chris Lewis.
It felt great to have NFL football back. And Week 1 concluded with Monday Night Football on ESPN and ABC. The NFL debut of J.J. McCarthy for the Vikings against Ben Johnson's head coaching debut with the Bears. The former Lions offensive coordinator was brought in to help develop former number 1 pick Caleb Williams. And the opening drive could not have been any better.
Snap back, pressure, pick it up by Tooney, rolling left. Williams got Greengrass, top five, dive for the end zone. Throw him up, will you, baby? Touchdown! Touchdown Bears! 80-yard touchdown scramble. Caleb Williams, Bears have the lead, 6-0.
That's on ESPN 1000. So Caleb Williams, he had that rushing touchdown. He started the game 10 for 10 passing. Conversely, J.J. McCarthy had a much more difficult time. Under constant siege and seemingly always fighting the play clock, the Vikings offense sputtered most of the first half. Bears led it 10-6 at the break. At halftime, the Bears, they honored the 40th anniversary of the 1985 Bears. Yeah, they were known as one of the best defenses in league history. So it was only fitting that the next score of this game was a Chicago defensive touchdown.
Play clock to 5. Crowd is making a difference. Wants the snap, gets it. Full house blitz, throwing out to the left. It's picked up down the sideline right to the 40-yard line. He is history, baby. Leaving the Vikings at taillights into the end zone for the touchdown. Touchdown Bears and a pick six for Deshaun Wright.
So it seemed to just be written in the stars, right? A Bears defensive touchdown with the 1985 Bears, members of that team watching, the team up double digits. The two-score lead, given the Vikings offense, seemed like it'd be a safe lead. But given Sunday night's comeback, you knew this one was too early to call. Finally, Minnesota got life in the fourth.
3rd and 5 from the Bears 13. Chicago rushes 4. McCarthy straight drop to the end zone and touchdown! Justin Jefferson catches J.J. McCarthy's first National Football League touchdown.
KFAN with the call. So suddenly the Vikings within striking distance. And just as quickly went the rhythm of the Bears offense. An ugly 3-and-out and a solid punt return. It gave Minnesota the ball back in great field position. And they took advantage.
1st and 10 from the 27 of the Bears. McCarthy out of the shotgun. Blitz is on, is picked up. McCarthy loops it to Jones. Touchdown! He's showtime! And the Minnesota Vikings have taken a 1-point lead.
2-point conversion good. So the Vikings offense, they scored 2 touchdowns on 2 straight drives to take the lead. The Bears offense had just 3 points since the opening drive. Remember, their other touchdown came defensively. Another unsuccessful Chicago drive led to a punt, as well as some grumbles from that home crowd at Soldier Field. Minnesota ball in clock-killing mode, and they went for the throat.
3rd and 1 from the Bears 14. McCarthy out of the shotgun, milking a 3-point lead. It is a run-pass option. McCarthy takes off to the right, to the 10. Stutter steps at the 5. Touchdown! He's J.J. McCarthy, and he runs for a Vikings touchdown.
What a moment for J.J. McCarthy in his first career start. Remember, he grew up about 15 miles from Soldier Field. His first game was as a fan going to a game, Vikings versus Bears. So to have that moment with leading the comeback, another stunning turnaround in primetime, by the way, given what happened on Sunday Night Football. The Bears, they got a touchdown, though, on their ensuing drive with 2:02 left. Again, 2:02. So with only one timeout left, it was crucial for the Bears to make sure no time went off the clock on the following kickoff, to make sure, right, that 2-minute warning would be the extra timeout to help stop the clock on that next Vikings drive. But instead of kicking the ball through the end zone, out of bounds, or shy of the landing zone, all which would have had no time evaporate from the clock, Cairo Santos' kickoff was returnable, which cost the Bears that clock stoppage. So instead, they got the ball back with only 9 seconds left, which wasn't enough time. The Vikings beat the Bears 27-24. So J.J. McCarthy, he's the star of the show, first starting quarterback to overcome a double-digit fourth-quarter deficit to win his NFL debut since Steve Young in 1985. Brilliant performance, especially in the second half, and rewarded with an interview with Lisa Salters.
JJ, your NFL debut here in your hometown, your family in the stands. You said you weren't going to think about any of that until post-game. Now here you are. Just what's this feeling like to you?
It's surreal. Your first NFL win, and, I just can't be more proud of the guys up front. The defense, they were, it was struggling the first half for us offensively, and they had our back, in the kicking game, punts and all that. So I just want to say my thanks to my team right there.
You said that the game wasn't going the way you would have liked, and you threw that pick six, and then it seemed like everything changed. What started to click for you?
Honestly, we were just figuring it out. We were playing one play at a time, and, Coach O'Connell got us in great play calls, and we just executed at the end of the day. So, it just came down to execution.
When things weren't going well, what was the issue?
It's just all 11 being on the same page. I feel like, it's game one. There's a lot of things we got to clean up. But, I was really, really proud of how we responded because there's going to be a lot of gritty games in the future.
Yeah, and again, even when things weren't going well, we could see you on the sidelines, rallying the troops, talking to your O-line, talking to your receivers. What were you saying to them?
That we got to believe. That's one thing that we can do is control the controllables, and our belief in, going out there and executing that next play. And, it's as simple as that. We got a great group, and everyone was on the same page with that.
JJ, this is game one of what will hopefully be a very long career for you, but what do you think you will remember most about this night?
Getting the win. That's what I remember most. Just being here in the hometown, it's a dream come true, and, to all the kids out there, it's possible. And, I just love my guys and can't wait to go to war next week.
Great questions by Lisa Salters and, of course, solid leader answers from J.J. McCarthy. 143 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. He did throw that pick six, and he helped the Vikings score 21 points in the fourth quarter, tied for their most in any quarter over the last 3 seasons. Leading the comeback, 27-24 Minnesota. Caleb Williams for Chicago, 211 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown, and his first game with Ben Johnson.
I think there was a lot of good there. Our communication, I think he was getting the plays in, fast, and been able to get out the huddle. We need to be better with that, and been able to get up to the line, make checks, or whatever the case may be. But I think it's a growing process that it's going to keep growing from here. This is the start, but definitely not the end. So we'll keep growing. We'll keep being passionate about this offense, him and I, and passionate about this team and winning.
Bears, dating back to last year, have lost 11 of their last 12. This is SportsCenter All Night. Chris Lewis here on ESPN Radio. Be a part of All Night Nation on the Dr. Pepper call-in line. Call us at 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. ESPN Nation brought to you by Dr. Pepper. It's not college football season without the delicious taste of an ice cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a pepper thing. Reactions still pouring in from the first Sunday night football game of the season. The Bills became the first team in NFL history to overcome a 15-point deficit in the final 4 minutes of the fourth quarter to win a season opener. And as Rich Eisen notes, what a way for Buffalo to begin their final season at Highmark Stadium.
What a win for the Bills, because they're not only one up on the rest of the AFC East, which they've won for the last, 19 years, it feels like. And they're also up one on the Ravens. They're also one up on the Chiefs and the Texans. Coming into the year, you're like, okay, those final 4 might be the final 4 in the AFC again. Baltimore, Bills, Texans, Chiefs. Only one of them's 1-0, and it's the Buffalo Bills. And you got to also feel this being the first game of the final season of Highmark. They wore a patch, commemorative patch, last night. Maybe there's fairy dust in that place. They had that feeling walking off.
It was Josh Allen's 7th career game with at least 2 passing touchdowns and 2 rushing touchdowns. That is the most in NFL history. He's building a resume that makes teammates and onlookers believe he's never out of a game. Here's Clinton Yates from Clinton and Friends.
I don't know that I always felt that Josh Allen was going to win games in this situation, but for whatever reason last night I did. And I don't necessarily know that I can put my finger on why I feel that way, because his performance has been consistently excellent for the past 2-3 seasons. No doubt about it. But something about yesterday, I thought they're going to win that game if they get the ball back. Unquestionably. Maybe it's because he's got an MVP all of a sudden. That I all of a sudden think that, rather. Maybe it's because, I don't know. He just looked a little bit more poised with the offseason under his belt. But something felt different about that, and it sure as heck worked out.
Well, on the other side, another double-digit collapse by the Ravens in the fourth quarter. It was their first loss in franchise history when scoring 40 or more in a game. They're now 25-1. Yates on the impact.
This was a bad loss in execution. Hell, that game in the playoffs was a bad loss in execution, which would make that 2 straight bad losses to the Bills by the Raven. Not great, Bob. Tough way to start a campaign as well. You work an entire offseason thinking, all right, we're going to go in there and avenge what happened. No. Not only did they not avenge it, they gave it away. Gave it away unceremoniously when they didn't have to.
Here's a stat that makes Ravens fans cringe. John Harbaugh's 17 blown double-digit leads in the second half are the most for any coach since 1991. Former NFL GM Tom Telesco joined Amber and Ian.
The hard thing that's hard to figure out is if any team is built to hold a lead in the second half, and certainly in the fourth quarter, it's the Ravens, with how well they run the ball, with their quarterback who can just make a lot of unscheduled plays with his feet, and then they have an outstanding defense. So it's hard to imagine that they could give up a lead like that in the fourth quarter, and they've done that a couple times. It's been a pattern. But, look, those games, it comes down to usually a little bit of luck, and that's happened on the tip ball in the end zone that Coleman caught for a touchdown, and then usually one turnover, and they got the turnover on Derrick Henry.
The meeting of the two favorites in the AFC lived up to the hype. The question is, will the Ravens live up to the hype at the end of the season? Chris Canty on Unsportsmanlike, he has concerns.
I keep worrying about the psychology of the Baltimore Ravens as we move forward with this current core of players. Last year, they added Derrick Henry. They could say to themselves they're a different team. This year, it's largely the same guys. And if you can't get it done in week one, when you got a 15-point lead on the road, when you've got a 99% chance based on our analytics with less than 5 minutes to go, if you find a way to lose that game, then ultimately you believe that something's going to happen every time you're in that situation to cause you to lose a game.
Well, coming up next, Vikings-Bears was Monday Night Football, but what about the rest of the NFC North? This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio.
The NFL on ESPN Radio. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we should be talking about Jalen Hurts. Week to week, team to team. In a far more complimentary fashion than we have. He's got it, touchdown! Opening weekend is here. The NFL lives here. ESPN Radio. More SportsCenter All Night coming up next.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. So you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
College football teams have moments they recovered from and made it like it never even happened. Like on October 2nd, 1993, when the University of California faced a 30-0 halftime deficit to Oregon. Cal went on a remarkable 42-11 run in the second half to capture a 42-41 victory, one of the largest comebacks in college football history.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
The FIFA World Cup 26 is coming to North America next summer. It will be the ultimate celebration of sports and culture. Get closer to the beautiful game with a hospitality package. Closer to the action in the best seats and suites. Closer to match day, elevated with world-class food and entertainment. Closer to the experience of a lifetime. Book a hospitality package at FIFAWorldCup.com/hospitality.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto. at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
I like things my way. My coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the new Vyvgart Hytrulo prefilled syringe, which contains efgartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. Now I can inject in my space on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VyvgartMyWay.com. That's VYVGART myway.com. And talk to your doctor about Vyvgart Hytrulo. Brought to you by Argenix.
You didn't start a business just to keep the lights on. You're here to sell more today than yesterday. You're here to win. Lucky for you, Shopify built the best converting checkout on the planet. Like the just one tapping, ridiculously fast acting, sky-high sales stacking, champion of checkouts. That's the good stuff right there. So if your business is in it to win it, win with Shopify. Start your free trial today at shopify.com/win.
Listening to Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Chris Lewis.
Presented by Progressive Insurance. News from All Night Nation. Just hit us up on the Dr. Pepper call-in line. Monday Night Football had one NFC North divisional matchup. Sunday afternoon had the other. The Packers took it to the Lions, and the Lions' only touchdown came in garbage time. And Rex Ryan on Get Up wasn't far from calling the Lions Sunday offense garbage.
There were two major questions going into the offseason. Number one, how's the interior of that offensive line going to play without Frank Ragnow? Well, yesterday is any indication they're in trouble. The play calling was drastically different. Where was the hard play action? Where's the vertical passing game, or the deep crossers, all those type of things? No trick plays, no nothing. And so to me, it looked very vanilla. They were getting whipped on the interior, and they became a check down Charlie offense, almost unwatchable.
Yikes. That's rough. The Lions lost only 2 games last regular season. They have a meeting with the Bears up next to avoid starting this season 0-2. Coach Dan Campbell acknowledged the stakes.
No, listen, Ben's my friend. He's always going to be my friend, you know. But nothing about that's going to change, you know. We're going in getting ready to play Chicago. We're going to win this game. You know, we have to. We got to find a way to clean things up and do what we got to do. And they're going to try to do the same thing. It's like every week.
Saying they have to win. Don't know if that's exactly putting it as a must-win week 2, but hey, if you put the words in a certain way, makes it seem that way. Well, as bad as week 1 was for the Lions, it felt that great for the Packers. Dan Orlovsky on Get Up said they're the NFC favorites.
I understand that Micah didn't have a ridiculous stat line, but just watch the defensive tape and you're going, this looks like the Eagles defense of last year where they just hunt the football. And I don't want to make it just about Micah because there's so many good players on that defense. You saw Edgerrin Cooper's all over the field. Van Ness was great. Rashawn Gary was great. But the amount of jerseys that you saw run to the football on a consistent basis jumped off the screen. It jumped off the screen. And if that defense can play every week like it did yesterday, this team is going to very much so be there at the end, and we're talking NFC Championship Super Bowl run.
Jordan Love went 16 for 22, 188 yards, 2 touchdowns. His 8th consecutive regular season game without an INT. And yet Dan Orlovsky notes how great their defense was. That's a complete team. And as Ben Solak on Unsportsmanlike mentioned, better things could be ahead.
He's a wonderful, natural, gifted thrower of the football, and there was so much room in that secondary. Good job by Matt LaFleur, good job by that receiver room. But really, Love, I thought, was just delightfully aggressive. He's such a fun watch when he's on, and so that could have been, if it needed to be, a 35-40 point outing. The defense played great. They didn't need that. But I was impressed by what they were on offense. Love looked so comfortable, looked in rhythm, looked aggressive. And remember, they weren't really at full strength, right, in the receiver room. Talk about Gino Reed just coming back off of injury. So they have an opportunity to get better as well. So most impressive thing to me in that one was the Packers offense.
Well, the Lions and Packers, they meet again on Thanksgiving. Sports Center all night. My name is Chris Lewis. Let's get into some Major League Baseball. We start with the Phillies and Mets. Remember, last time these two teams had a series, it was the Mets sweeping the Phillies in New York. Well, not the case, thanks to Nick Castellanos.
McClain delivers, and the first pitch, punch past first, it's a base hit, and Nick Castellanos puts the Phillies on the board. It's 1-0. First ball swinging, and Casty punches it past the drawn-in Pete Alonso.
On 94 WIP, big series for Philadelphia. That run was the only run in the game. Phillies blank the Mets 1-0, and they lead the Mets by 8 games in the NL East. They're 29-19 since the All-Star break. Second best record in baseball behind the Brewers. Aaron Nola in the game, the starter for Philly. He needed an outing like this. 6 innings, 3 hits allowed, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. His first scoreless start since May 3rd. His previous 6 starts at an ERA close to 10. So again, it was a much-needed one for the Phillies pitcher. On KNBR.
The catcher now, here's a shot! High and deep, left center field. Adios, Pelota! Way up into the bleachers. A spectacular home run by Elliot Ramos deep into the night. And now this is a 5-run inning for the Giants.
The Giants, they beat the Diamondbacks by the score of 11-5. They're now 3 back of the Mets for the final NL wildcard spot. In that game, the Giants had a season-high 5 home runs with 5 different players hitting a home run. And Logan Webb was the starter for the Giants. He went 6 innings, allowed 5 hits, 4 runs. Let's go to the Dodgers, where Mookie Betts gets a big hit over the Rockies.
Mookie swings, he drives it to center field, a base hit. Pages comes in to score. Rounding third is Ohtani. He will score. And Betts, with a 2-out, 2-run base hit, gives the Dodgers a 3-1 lead.
That on AM 570 LA Sports. Dodgers win 3-1. Now the story in that game was the Dodgers pitching nearly a combined no-hitter, but they lost a no-hit bid in the 9th inning. We go on to the Padres and Reds in San Diego, where the Padres walk it off.
1-2. Here's the pitch. Tatis swings, pops it into left center field. Hayes is back into the gap. He'll make the catch. Cronenworth tagging. Here's the throw to the plate. Not in time. A walk-off sac fly for Fernando Tatis Jr. The Padres win it 4-3 as they lead for the first time tonight, right here and right now.
The call on 97.3, The Fan. The Rangers and Brewers, Michael Hellman gets the grand slam.
And the pitch, and that ball drilled to deep left field. Churio going back, looking up. It's gone! The first grand slam for the Rangers this season is clubbed to left by Michael Hellman. Runs us for everybody. 4-0 Texas.
That on 105.3 The Fan. So the Rangers, it's their 14th shutout this season as they win at 5-0, the second most in the American League behind the Tigers. Red Sox, they shut out the Athletics.
1-1 is drilled high and deep into left center field. It is tattooed. Adios, Narvaez. An absolute bomb. And it is 4-0 Red Sox.
WEEI 93.7 FM. 7-0 on a Monday night. It's a football-like score there. They beat the A's. Largest shutout win since also beating the Athletics, July 11th of 2024. Trevor Story in the game went 2 for 4 with a double and a solo shot. Mariners beat the Cardinals 4-2, and it was the Nationals a 15-7 win over the Marlins. Coming up next, another comeback in prime time. This is Sports Center All Night on ESPN Radio.
This is ESPN Radio.
CeCe, respect it or check it. The Steelers will make the playoffs with Aaron Rodgers.
On your your radio, your computer, your smart speaker, or on the ESPN app.
The Dodgers don't have some secret formula. They have a bank account.
We're everywhere you are. This is ESPN Radio.
Talk about stepping up. It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. It's the ultimate fan experience. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com. Sign up now.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos. Fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play.
If you're a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility and your machinery isn't working right, Grainger knows you need to understand what's wrong as soon as possible. So when a conveyor motor falters, Grainger offers diagnostic tools like calibration kits and multimeters to help you identify and fix the problem. With Grainger, you can be confident you have everything you need to keep your facility running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contracts. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay, give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats. Gear up for an epic football season with unbeatable ticket deals in the Vivid Seats app. For the best selection, grab your seats now. Every ticket you buy gets you one step closer to a free 11th ticket with Vivid Seats rewards exclusively in the Vivid Seats app. Score awesome perks like surprise seat upgrades, their annual birthday discount, and more. Don't miss out. This is your sign to download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
This is Joe Budden. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So I'm here to make sure you don't miss any of the daily fantasy action this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right.
Download the Prize Picks app today and use code OT to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. That's code OT to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
You're listening to SportsCenter all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Chris Lewis.
Presented by Progressive Insurance. With insurance for cars, home, boat, motorcycles, RVs, and commercial vehicles at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com.
Half-hour headlines on SportsCenter all night.
49ers George Kittle out weeks, and Brock Purdy iffy for week 2 due to injuries. Giants sticking with Russell Wilson as QB1 against the Cowboys. A Monday night comeback in glory for J.J. McCarthy in his NFL debut.
The Minnesota Vikings have come from behind and defeated the Chicago Bears 27-24.
We were playing one play at a time, and we just executed at the end of the day. So it just came down to execution.
Courtesy of KFAN, Vikings beat the Bears 27-24. It was a game in which the Bears led it most of the way. The Vikings scored 21 points in the fourth quarter, time for the most in any quarter for them over the last 3 seasons, and JJ becomes the first starting quarterback to overcome a double-digit fourth quarter deficit and win his NFL debut since Steve Young did it in 1985. McCarthy, 143 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. He also had the rushing touchdown that proved to be the go-ahead and game winner. His first touchdown pass in his NFL career went to, no surprise, Justin Jefferson, who after the game chatted with Scott Van Pelt.
What happened that changed everything for you guys? What was it?
Nothing. Honestly, we kept our head up, we kept our composure, and we kept fighting at the end of the day. We know the guys that we have in our room, the guys that we have on that offense, and it's just all about just going out there and just competing every single play.
JJ told the Salters afterwards, he just mentioned the same thing, belief. How difficult is it to maintain belief in the face of the struggles that are understandable?
Tough. But you got to know adversity is going to hit. You know what I'm saying? Every game is not going to be perfect. That first half was a tough struggle. Us trying to figure out everything. Of course, having JJ as our new quarterback, trying to figure out everything. But that second half, win that locker room, told everybody, look, keep our heads up. We're not even down by a lot. We haven't played our best ball, but let's go out there and complete.
Your O-line has added some significant pieces, and they seem to find their footing as well. And when you started to run, all of a sudden, now that play action's a whole lot more effective. How much credit belongs to the men up front that were able to help establish the run, which seemed to unlock a lot?
Tremendous. You know, that's where it all starts at. The O-line is where it starts at. That's where our run game is going to pop off. That's when the passing game is going to pop off. So it's really kudos to the O-line for sure, but also to JP and AJ for running the rock and getting us downfield.
We were talking as we were watching as a group. I was talking with RC, and we were laughing about the idea that there are folks that discount the notion of momentum in life, and that's fine. But if you're in this place, you could feel it on your side. You're nodding your head as you score, and then all of a sudden you score again and get the 2-point conversion. Just describe how different the energy is on your side, because that defense started getting after it as well.
Momentum is a crazy thing.
Isn't it?
It is. And just like you said, coming off of my touchdown, that momentum strike. You know what I'm saying? We got some momentum. We got that juice flowing again. And, of course, our defense went out there and got some couple stops to get us back on that field to, score 21 points in the fourth quarter. Very difficult. We got it done. But, hey, it's definitely kudos to our defense for sure.
Yeah, that was Justin Jefferson after the game for the Vikings. Overcome an 11-point fourth-quarter deficit, they beat the Bears 27-24. Kevin O'Connell, team's head coach, on how the team was able to overcome the 2-score deficit.
Many times, teams will wilt in those circumstances, and ours did not. And it's a credit to our players. It's a credit to what they have built in that locker room. And we're 1-0, with 1,000 things to clean up across the board. The defense knows they're going to have to battle all year long. After that, following the opening drive touchdown, I think, next 9 drives, they only gave up a field goal. So I'm just, proud of the group, but JJ especially, heck of a growth moment for him, and one that I had total belief in him that we were going to figure it out together.
So that's the head coach of the Vikings. How about the perspective from the team that lost the lead, Ben Johnson, on the loss?
Obviously, a disappointing way to start the season there for us. Have a 17-6 lead and then see it go the way it did there in the fourth quarter. We said going into week 1 that the team that would make the least number of mistakes would win the game, and unfortunately, we were on the wrong side of that. We made too many there late in the game, myself included. There were a number of things that I could have done better, a number of things that a number of guys could have done better. When you look down at the stat sheet and you see 12 penalties, that's got to get cleaned up in a hurry, and yet we've been saying that all training camp as well. So, we'll find a way to get that done. It's going to be a collective effort.
How about this nugget as something that could just pull the hair out of Chicago Bears fans? Ben Johnson, first game as a head coach, he blew an 11-point lead in the fourth quarter. That's the largest by a head coach in his NFL debut since Matt Nagy with the Bears in 2018 at the Packers, where that team blew a 17-point lead in the fourth quarter. Bears fans are just saying, why us? Why us? Anyway, that comeback for the Vikings, a 27-24 win on Monday Night Football. Now let's go to the Giants. After Sunday's loss to the Commanders, Giants head coach Brian Daboll wouldn't firmly commit to Russell Wilson as his Week 2 starter. On Monday, he provided a little bit more clarity.
Do you intend to start Russell Wilson this week?
Yes. Yep. And after a game, it's an emotional game. It's a tough game. Didn't play particularly well, I would say, collectively. But in terms of making any of those decisions, really at any position or schematic changes, I'd like to do it with a clear head and watch the tape. And again, like I said yesterday, that game just doesn't fall on Russell Wilson. We got to do a better job collectively, coaching, playing, but Russ will be a starter.
Wilson went 17 for 37 passing in Week 1, the worst completion percentage since Week 2 of 2022. That was when he was with the Broncos. Now, how much longer will New York wait before playing rookie Jackson Dart? Wide receiver Darius Slayton was asked about the rookie.
I think that's the natural thing these days, in the sport of football, which is unfortunate at all levels of football, even at the college level, the pro level, is that everybody wants new as soon as they think that things aren't going well. But the reality is that things take time. And not everything is just a 9-1-1 situation. We have good coaches. We have good quarterback in Russell Wilson. And, it's 1 week, And I think in the history of football, if you kind of look at the history of football, it hasn't always served people well to just throw people in the fire. Because I know that I wouldn't want to be thrown in the fire like that. Obviously Jackson believes in himself. He's obviously believes he's a good football player. We believe he's a good football player. But at the same time, this league is hard. This league is tough. And, you see players get chewed up and spit out all the time by this league, which is something that I would never want to happen to him. So, as far as all that goes, like I said, he said Russ is our starter. Russ, our starter, is for however long, whatever. And he's going to play good ball. We're going to play good ball as an offense. And whenever Jackson's time comes, it comes.
That's Giants receiver Darius Slayton. Dart was selected with the 25th pick in the most recent draft. So with that kind of investment, Freddie Coleman on Freddie and Harry believes him seeing the field is just a matter of time.
Jackson Dart played at Ole Miss. He played for Lane Kiffin in the SEC. If he can deal with that, he'll be fine in the National Football League. If he can deal with all of that, he'll be fine. And I don't think we're rushing Jackson Dart because that can't continue if it looks like that in Week 2 for the Giants with Russell Wilson at quarterback. If anything, this may be increasing that Jackson Dart may start sooner than later.
Rich Eisen is on the same page.
It's tough not to look at Russell and say, are you the issue? After Pittsburgh was one and done, and after Denver dead capped him, and after Seattle traded him to Denver. It's been a while since Russ was cooking. It does not give me any pleasure to say that. So when Brian Daboll would not commit to Russ as a starter yesterday, but he didn't say he was going to bench him. And with Jackson Dart sitting there second on the depth chart, he was there. One, if Russ, heaven forbid, couldn't answer the bell on Sunday because his bell was rung, it would have been Jackson Dart out there out of necessity. So why not put him in out of what do you got to lose other than obviously his health and his confidence? But that does not appear to be confidence an issue with him.
The Giants, they take on the Cowboys in Week 2. This is SportsCenter All Night. Chris Lewis here on ESPN Radio. Injury news. 49ers coach Kyle Shanahan said Monday that George Kittle will sit out a few weeks because of a right hamstring injury he suffered in the win against the Seahawks. Also, the status of his quarterback is uncertain. Shanahan added that Brock Purdy has left shoulder and toe injuries. So if he can't go, Mac Jones would get the start in his place. He signed with the Niners as a free agent in March. Keeping it with quarterbacks, what a great Steelers debut it was for Aaron Rodgers. 22 for 30, 244 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, and he passed the Clinton Yates eye test.
I've been yelling and screaming all offseason about how I'm not here for anything other than Aaron Rodgers playing football. Aaron Rodgers playing football yesterday looked like a tremendous quarterback. Jets-Steelers was a fantastic football game. I thought there was some skills shown there. And I feel like Mike Tomlin might feel low-key rejuvenated. Everything we could have thought, Devin, could be wrong. I was worried they were going to run each other out of town, arguing with each other all day long. No. Rodgers gets up there, 7 for 11, 108 yards, and 2 TDs against the blitz alone. The old man was getting it done.
It was his 35th career game with 4 passing touchdowns. ties Peyton Manning for the third most in NFL history. First game with offensive coordinator Arthur Smith. And Rich Eisen notes the fit looked smooth.
What's he going to do in Pittsburgh? How's it going to work? We obviously have way more runway left here, but he became the first quarterback in Steelers history to have 4 passing touchdowns in his debut for the team, ever. Last quarterback to have 4 touchdown passes in a game for the Steelers. Want to guess? You know the answer. His name's Big Ben. Last time Rodgers had 4 touchdown passes in a game, period, in 2021. His last MVP season. He hasn't done it in 4 years. That's how he's going to do it. He found Calvin Austin, Jalen Warren, Ben Skoranek, and Jonnu Smith for his touchdowns. Were any of them handpicked by him to join the team? Wow. Nope. No, again, I point this out to say that everybody thought he wouldn't be able to play within the Steelers world because it's his world. There's only one world, and it's his. Now, will we have a story midseason about him and Arthur Smith gear grinding? Maybe. But that's a conversation. Rodgers is not going to be able to do it in the Steelers way because it's only his way. You got to give it up, man.
Well, given Aaron Rodgers' age and his recent injury history, the question is whether these type of performances are something the Steelers can bank on. On First Take, Cam Newton wasn't so sure.
I think every single person that has ever played in the NFL, will play in the NFL, or is currently in the NFL, once you have this on your heart, where you feel like you have to prove something, that's where you have a different animal and a different beast. And that's what we see Aaron Rodgers up against this particular weekend. He wanted to prove something, not only just to himself, but to the whole organization and the city of New York. That's like, hey, remember me? And I don't know if they could keep that up. Do I believe in the Pittsburgh Steelers? I don't know. You got Calvin Austin III, you got Pat, you got Kenneth Gainwell. I don't know if that's going to be enough when you have any type of representation from the Chiefs, Chargers, Ravens, Bills, Bengals, and even the Browns looked good if they could get them a doggone kicker. But outside of that, I think Aaron Rodgers is still one of the elite talent that this game has ever seen, and it showed with him still being at the age that he is, being able to deliver the pill.
Well, coming up next, what team did Rex Ryan feel like embarrassed themselves in Week 1? This is SportsCenter All Night on ESPN Radio.
The traditions, the rivalries, the drama.
Every week there was something magical.
This is the most wide open college football season we've had ever.
We don't have tomorrow, next year. We have now.
College football lives here. ESPN Radio. More SportsCenter All Night coming up next.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
Quick break. Want to make a big play on your next paint project? Go with Behr Marquee Interior Paint and Primer. Only at the Home Depot. With over 1,000 colors, exceptional hide, and advanced stain blocking, Behr Marquee is built to stand up to real life. No do-overs, no wasted weekends, just bold color and a finish that holds strong. One coat coverage, no overtime. Behr Marquee. Only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Valid only when tinted to colors from the Behr Marquee Interior One Coat Hide Collection.
What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada?
Yes, please. Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/streaming and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/streaming.
I like things my way, my coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the new Vyvgart Hytrulo prefilled syringe, which contains Efgartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. Now I can inject in my space on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VyvgartMyWay.com. That's VYVGART myway.com. And talk to your doctor about Vyvgart Hytrulo. Brought to you by argenx.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first.
Like you know to check if they're going for it on 4th down before going to the concession stand.
Yeah, give me 3 hot dogs, 2 jumbo crisps.
Hey, buddy, you want cheese with those?
Yeah, checking first is smart.
No.
So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Just like in sports, businesses succeed when you add the right free agent. With Robert Half's specialized recruiter's experience, combined with their award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Learn more at roberthalf.com/talent.
You're listening to Sports Center all night on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Now, here's Chris Lewis.
News from All Night Nation. Just hit us up on the Dr. Pepper call-in line. Great day for the Guardians against the Royals, nearly getting a no-hitter.
The pitch. Swung on, line drive, base hit, center field. No hitters gone. Michael Massey with a clean line drive single to center to start the 8th. And now the fans rise to their feet. And Slade Ciccone getting a standing ovation from this crowd of 15,000 after going 7 no-hit innings.
That on WTAM 1100. I got to say, that's one of my favorite parts about a baseball crowd, right? Like a no-hitter's going on, and then a hit happens, it ends, and you hear the bummed out crowd, the awes, but then it immediately turns into a round of applause for the pitcher who had a brilliant performance. So that was pretty cool, and you could hear it through the audio right across your radio right there. So that was cool. Guardians end up beating the Royals 10-2. It was a cruise control for Cleveland. The takes were out and hot on Monday, reacting to week 1 of the NFL season. One of the biggest came from former coach Rex Ryan on Get Up when he was talking about the Miami Dolphins.
What the hell is he talking about? You know, maybe he's on a different level, McGenius guy, whatever the hell he is, nerd boy. But anyway, their team has no respect for the coach. They play like that. They're like, come on, man, get us a dang guy in here. Where's the physicality of this team? What did you say? They're soft. They're soft. Like, yeah, I'm with you on that. And every part of their football team. They have tons of talent on this team. Daniel, we were talking, that's why you picked them to win? Because they have tons of talent. Yeah. They don't play with any passion or any smoke to them.
I told you, the first Monday of the NFL season, man, people have been waiting months to get their takes off, and Rex Ryan fit right in. For the Dolphins, it was their first time this century allowing points on their first 7 drives of the game, and that doesn't even cover how bad their offense was. Dan Orlovsky, he covers it.
Their tape was a mess. And you could blame everybody. You could blame the coaching. You could blame the players. There's blown assignments by everybody on offense. Tua's floating the ball for interception. There's a blown assignment by the right tackle on protection. There's a blown assignment by the back. I mean, this is a lack of preparation, a lack of understanding, a lack of commitment. They're getting outflanked on defense on a consistent basis by basic concepts by Indianapolis. This was a bad tape to watch. I'd also say this. One of the notes watching this game that I kept coming up with was, where is Tyreek? It was wild to see how many plays Tyreek Hill wasn't on the field. I accounted for him on the field, I think, 4 times on 3rd down. How about this? Today is 1 year. 1 year since Tyreek Hill has had a catch that exceeded 30 yards.
That's crazy.
That's his whole game.
Yeah, that is a wild note. It was Tua's 7th game with at least 3 turnovers since entering the league in 2020. Only Trevor Lawrence, with 8, has more in that span. And now it's time for tonight's Top Sound.
Sports Center all night.
Oh, my goodness. Check it out on Sports Center tonight.
Today's Top Sound.
How good is that? Are you ready to take?
Number 5.
We get started on the diamond. Matt Olson goes yard for the 23rd time this season. The call on 680 The Fan.
Matt Olson with a fly ball to deep center field. Castro to the wall. That's reaching and gone. Homer number 4:23 for Matt Olson, and the Braves have a little bit more breathing room. It's now 4-1 Braves in the 8th as that one was belted to deep center.
Number 4.
Moving out west, the Giants with a commanding win over the Diamondbacks, including this 2-run moonshot on KNBR.
The catcher, now here's a shot! High and deep, left center field. Adios! Pelota! Way up into the bleachers. A spectacular home run by Elliot Ramos deep into the night. And now this is a 5-run inning for the Giants.
Number 3.
A first for the Rangers this season as Michael Hellman delivers the slam on 105.3 The Fan.
And the pitch. And that ball drilled to deep left field. Churio going back, looking up. It's gone! The first grand slam for the Rangers this season is clubbed to left by Michael Hellman. Runs us for everybody. 4-0 Texas.
Number 2.
To Soldier Field, a shutdown play by Nashawn Wright, taking it to the house on ESPN 1000.
Play clock to 5. Crowd is making a difference. Wants the snap, gets it. Full house blitz, throwing out to the left. It's picked off down the sideline right to the 40-yard line. He is history, baby. Leaving the Vikings the taillights into the end zone for the touchdown. Touchdown Bears. And a pick 6 for Nashawn Wright.
Number 1.
Our top sound of the night, J.J. McCarthy bounces back with his legs. The call on KFAN.
3rd and 1 from the Bears 14. McCarthy out of the shotgun, milking a 3-point lead. It is a run-pass option. McCarthy takes off to the right, to the 10. Stutter steps at the 5. Touchdown! He's J.J. McCarthy, and he runs for a Vikings touchdown.
Great moment for J.J. McCarthy. Of course, a guy who grew up about 15 miles from Soldier Field. And in his first NFL game, his starting debut, he scores the game-winning touchdown with his legs. And that concludes Top Sound. But coming up, Thursday Night Football. Yes, we got to look ahead. And on the Rich Eisen Show, Al Michaels, who's, of course, the Amazon play-by-play announcer, and their first game will be this Thursday. It's a meeting between the Packers and Commanders. It'll be fun. He talked about Micah Parsons and the comparisons to Reggie White.
When it comes to anointing somebody, I always tell the Bill Parcells story. I did the Hall of Fame game years and years ago. I think Jeremy Shockey had a tremendous night, and he had not played a single game. Jeremy's a rookie, comes out of college, has a phenomenal night in Canton. Now, he's going to be Mark Bavaro. He's going to be Kellen Winslow. He's going to be Mike Ditka. He's going to be the greatest tight end in history. And, of course, a lot of the post-game press conference dealt with that. Only the way the great bard and soothsayer Bill Parcells could put it. He says, boys, just put away the anointing oil, okay? It's real simple. So, to me, in Micah's case, he's already anointed because of what he's done to this point. But we love to make comparisons. Look, the game is different than it was. There's no question in Reggie's time. And I like to look at comparisons like this is enjoy them both. Right. Everything is in a different era. Now, it's like saying, what's the better meal? Sometimes you can have 2 fantastic desserts, right? Enjoy them both.
Daniels on the other side.
You can tell, he's got what it takes. At least when you watch him and you look at him, he looks confident, he looks poised, he looks in control. You can tell he has the respect of the people around him. So, he had a tremendous rookie season, off to a great start in year 2. And obviously, look, they expect gigantic things from him. Again, you have to go back. And you go back to 15 years ago in Washington, the belle of the ball, the guy who was going to take them to multiple Super Bowls over 15 years. RG3. Remember that?
Well, he blew out his knee in the playoffs, unfortunately, and that changed the entire dynamic of everything there.
It did, and it was never the same.
That wraps up this edition of SportsCenter All Night. As always, we hand out thank yous to our producer, Josh Kapke. Our technical director is Cam Berry. My name is Chris Lewis. Coming up next, it is Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio.
Coming up on
on Tuesday's edition of Unsportsmanlike with Evan Cohen, Michelle Smallman, and me, Chris Canty. The Packers and the Bills look great in Week 1, but did they do enough to take over the number 1 spot in my power rankings? Find out at 6:30 a.m. Eastern. It's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings at 6, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
Holding. Defense.
The ref totally blew that call.
Oh, I'm sure he'll make the right call next time.
It's too late. It cost us the game.
Well, it's just one game.
That loss eliminated us from the playoffs.
Oh, the playoffs are on so late. Now you'll be well rested.
Okay, I need you to stop talking now.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is Joe Budden. You and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. So I'm here to make sure you don't miss any of the daily fantasy action this football season with PrizePicks, where it's good to be right.
Download the PrizePicks app today and use code OT to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. That's code OT to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats. Gear up for an epic football season with unbeatable ticket deals in the Vivid Seats app. For the best selection, grab your seats now. Every ticket you buy gets you one step closer to a free 11th ticket with Vivid Seats rewards exclusively in the Vivid Seats app. Score awesome perks like surprise seat upgrades, their annual birthday discount, and more. Don't miss out. This is your sign to download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
If you're a custodial supervisor at a local high school, you know that cleanliness is key and that the best place to get cleaning supplies is from Grainger. Grainger helps you stay fully stocked on the products you trust, from paper towels and disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Plus, you can rely on Grainger for easy reordering, so you never run out of what you need. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Unsportsmanlike with Evan Canty and Michelle.
The Minnesota Vikings have come from behind and defeated the Chicago Bears 27-24.
We're playing one play at a time, and, Coach O'Connell got us in great play calls, and we just executed at the end of the day. So it just came down to execution.
A lot of things we can improve on, and we will, but all in all, I'm very proud of our team, very proud of our staff, and just that figure-it-outness and find a way is something that will be a redeeming quality as we continue to press onward.
I'm a savage. Classy, bougie, ratchet.
Okay, welcome to the show. We are Unsportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2. The highlights courtesy of K-Fan and Minnesota Vikings Radio Network. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. 21-point fourth quarter for the Minnesota Vikings. A double-digit comeback win on the first Monday Night Football of the season over the Chicago Bears. Be a part of Unsportsmanlike Nation on the Dr. Pepper call-in line. 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. ESPN Nation presented by Dr. Pepper. It's not college football season without the delicious taste of an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a pepper thing. Along with Michelle Smallman, Chris Canty, Evan Cohen with you. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Evan. Good morning, Smallman. Smalls. It was a hell of a game last night. I don't know what's going on with week one, but the night games have been drunk.
Yes.
I mean, started out with Cowboys, Eagles, then we got Chiefs, Chargers, Sunday night, Ravens, Bills, and then last night, it was a tale of two halves. I mean, it's like Caleb Williams and J.J. McCarthy decided that they were both going to take turns playing the role of hero for their team. Unfortunately for Caleb, Unfortunately for Caleb, J.J. played his best when it mattered the most, which is in the second half and particularly in that fourth quarter. So credit to them, the Minnesota Vikings, for being able to find a way to win, because it was ugly to start out that game for J.J. and the offense.
And it was great for Caleb and the Bears. They were looking great to start the game. As you mentioned, it seemed like they switched bodies, Freaky Friday situation in the end. But we didn't know what to expect from J.J. McCarthy. He hadn't played in 609 days. 609 days since January 8th, 2024. And while we knew the Vikings, who had won 14 games last season, were returning a lot of that core, we believe in that coaching staff. Not only just Brian Flores on the defensive side of the ball, but specifically Kevin O'Connell to get the best out of his quarterbacks. It was still a big question mark heading into this season, and you're right, CC, at the outside of that game did not look great for J.J. McCarthy, but boy, did he turn it on when it mattered the most.
Yeah, and his team was down 17-6 in the fourth quarter. They scored 21 unanswered points thanks to 2 J.J. McCarthy touchdown passes, 1 J.J. McCarthy touchdown run. He was 13 of 20 in the game, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, did have that interception, which was a pick 6, and he had 48 yards passing in the first half. No third down conversions until the fourth quarter of the game.
The biggest play he had in the passing game in the first half was a pass interference penalty trying to target Justin Jefferson. That was the biggest play he had. Now, he did come back and make a big-time throw on the drive to set up a field goal before halftime, but it was bad. And I'm not quite sure how that kid got off the mat. I really don't. After he throws the pick 6 to Deshaun Wright, it looked like it was going to snowball. As a matter of fact, Joe Buck said as much on the Monday Night Football broadcast. And yet, somehow, some way, Kevin O'Connell was able to get through to him. They got Jordan Mason in the running game going. Credit to you, because you pointed out how impactful you thought he was going to be when the Minnesota Vikings got him.
With the Niners.
But once they started getting that ground game going, it seemed to settle J.J. down, and the passing game opened up from there. He had a laser that he threw in the end zone to Justin Jefferson for a touchdown, and from there you could start to see him get more confident with each drive. We literally watched J.J. McCarthy grow up before our eyes in his first start. And to be able to mount a double-digit deficit comeback on the road against a division rival week one in your regular season debut, that's a hell of a thing, man.
First debut ever for a quarterback with 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. First debut ever with a double-digit comeback for a quarterback in the fourth quarter of an NFL football game all time. You ask, I don't know what got into him. You know, when you watch Jim Harbaugh at times, and we've talked to him on our show, whether it's watching him coach, watching him in interviews, or back in the day watching him play. And I say this complimentary out of envy. Harbaugh's got a little crazy in him. I think this guy, his quarterback's got a little crazy in him. I think there's a little, and I'm saying this in a way that is, I'm jealous of the ability to be like, screw it. You think we're going to lose this game? I'm going to bring everybody back, from the face paint to the way he plays. No, seriously, like he talks about the war paint. Like,
quotes, yeah.
I mean, I'm not making a joke about that.
No, and the way he was rallying his teammates when they were down, they spoke about it after the game, how he was like, it's about to pop, and they're like, hey, you're 22, this is your first game, but he was right. And they talked about the conviction that he had when he was rallying them on the sidelines, to your point, Ev.
Since sophomore year of high school, 64-3 his teams are in games that he has started at the quarterback position. It is too easy to say after one game, the young man's just a winner. But up until this point in his life, that's all he's ever done. And he's continuing that, at least in his first moment last night.
Well, I think it matters from this standpoint. He has something innate in him. There is an intangible there that you can't quantify with any type of test at the combine. And it's really hard to figure out even just sitting down and interviewing him. But if you look at the entire body of work, you know that this guy has something to him. We talk about the it factor, the X factor. J.J. McCarthy oozes that, and it came out in that fourth quarter in Soldier Field. And you just wonder now how that's going to translate to this team's potential success, because you saw as he started to come alive, that defense started feasting on the Chicago Bears offensive line. I mean, you saw Andrew Van Ginkel and Jonathan Gennard and Javon Hargrave, who came over from the San Francisco 49ers, getting on the act. I thought Javon Hargrave was going to kill Caleb Williams in a sack. I thought he was going to kill him. I mean, you talk about a 350-pound man landing on a quarterback. That's never a good thing.
Yeah.
But you started to see that unit fly around. And so it really was palpable, the impact that J.J. McCarthy's performance had on the entire team. Not just on the offense, but on the entire team, even on special teams. The punt returns that they were getting all night long. I mean, just the kid has got something to him, and that game, that performance, gives the other 52 guys in the locker room something to believe in when they hit that inevitable adversity that every team goes throughout a season.
Yeah, a good data point for them to reflect back on, especially when the organization decides to move on from a quarterback that won 14 games for you last season in lieu of J.J. McCarthy. And, you know, he obviously makes sure that physically he's ready, but we're talking about his attitude, his mentality. He pours a lot into the mental side of his game, too. There's a great piece up at ESPN.com that Kevin Seifert wrote about the eye black, as you mentioned, the meditations that he does before the game, his song, Bob Marley, that he listens to. But there's a quote in that piece from his receiver, Justin Jefferson, that I think really encapsulates everything that we're talking about today. He says about J.J. McCarthy, he definitely has the winning attitude, the dog mentality, just that killer mode. And we saw it last night.
Yeah, and it's amazing how different everything was in the first half to the second half, because I sent everybody a text on our Unsportsmanlike group chat referencing Tom Brady years ago on the Shop on HBO with LeBron, when he'd retelling the story, and I think now we learn it was the Raiders, if I'm not mistaken, ironically, the team that he now is a part owner of, that they kept that guy over me, and I think it was about Derek Carr. And Aaron Rodgers had to be watching that first half. We all know he wanted to be a Minnesota Viking. I think he's thrilled to be with the Steelers now, but he wanted to be a Viking. Saying to himself, they kept that guy over me, or they wanted that guy over me, because he was awful in the first half. But here's the thing, in its simplest form, when we think about the best head coaches in the NFL, 4 quarterbacks, Kevin O'Connell's a top 5 guy on that list.
No doubt.
Right? Okay.
May even be higher.
Jim Harbaugh is probably also on that list. Okay.
Kyle Shanahan,
Andy Reid, obviously. At some point, and it's only one game, but at some point we have to take a step back and say, wait a minute. So a Jim Harbaugh coached player in college that Kevin O'Connell trades up for, that Kevin O'Connell said goodbye to a clear-cut starter in Sam Darnold for, is good? That shouldn't surprise us. And I have to admit, I sat here yesterday saying, I have no idea what to expect from this team, and maybe egg on my face, maybe I should have expected immediate good play from a guy that has never been bad. In J.J. McCarthy.
I mean, if you would have expected that, you would have been sorely disappointed based on the first half that he had.
No doubt. I understand.
It did 50 yards passing.
Yeah, it looked bad. It looked bad.
It was awful.
And Caleb looked great, conversely.
You can't win an NFL game playing quarterback the way that J.J. McCarthy did through the first 2.5, 3 quarters of that game.
Yeah.
You just can't.
So what does this tell you now about the rest of the season with the Minnesota Vikings? We're going to get to the Bears part.
Well, we said coming into that game yesterday that J.J. McCarthy has maybe the widest degree of variance of any player that we were going to see in week 1. We just didn't know what to expect. He redshirted last year, but it wasn't really a redshirt year because he had the injury. He was working his way back from that. We just didn't know the player that we were going to see. And I think in that game, we saw the entirety of the spectrum, the variance that we talked about, from the bad to the good. It's interesting because usually when it comes to young quarterbacks, when they have those types of performances that snowball early, it takes them a second to be able to bounce back. Hell, they had to bench Bryce Young. It took him half a season last year to bounce back.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that was his second year in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
So you're wondering, for J.J. McCarthy, after that first half, are the guys around him going to shut down because they don't believe that the quarterback is capable of turning it around in this game? But it didn't happen. The guys didn't quit. The defense kept them in it long enough for the offense to find their footing. And the fact that they didn't quit is a good sign, not only that Kevin O'Connell is a good coach, but also that they believed in their quarterback. And I go back to something that Justin Jefferson said earlier on in the offseason. He said, we're going to have to be patient with JJ. You could see that patience throughout the team, throughout that game. Justin Jefferson had every right to be frustrated after that first half, knowing that he's the best receiver in the NFL. Every right to be frustrated, but he didn't quit. Mm-hmm. That defense had every right to be frustrated because the offense was giving them nothing. Didn't quit. Special teams, same thing. They kept fighting. They kept scrapping. It's revealing of the sports character of that locker room, and it also reveals, we also saw the revelation of the character of J.J. McCarthy. And that's a good sign. Now, I ain't sitting there saying that they're going to win 14 games like they did last year, but the Minnesota Vikings can have hope that they can once again be a playoff team because of what we saw from J.J. McCarthy last night.
They might not win 14 games, but they might be the team that we slept on the most in the NFC because of the question mark with J.J. McCarthy. And as much as we hype up Kevin O'Connell, we simultaneously don't give him the benefit of the doubt that we do with other people. Like, if we looked at the body of work with Sam Darnold and with Kirk Cousins, and we just said, we are going to believe that he's going to extract this out of J.J. McCarthy too. We always framed it as a question, and people would be hesitant to go in with the Vikings because they didn't know about J.J. McCarthy. We got to always give him the benefit of the doubt now with quarterback. Now, obviously, it's one game. It's a small sample size, but from what you saw, he clearly had him ready to play, and he got the best out of him when it mattered the most. And I think you said yesterday that the Vikings were the biggest X factor. Right? Was that you that said that yesterday?
I don't know if I said X, with like unknown.
Unknown, the biggest unknown, yeah. And think about that they won 14 games last year. They are returning a lot of the same players. They have the coaching staff with continuity, and now they may have found somebody at quarterback that has that killer instinct and can get it done. We've been sleeping on them.
Well, there's another side to this game. The Chicago Bears were awesome until they weren't. So we will get to that after I tell you about ZipRecruiter, which, kudos to Minnesota. They used ZipRecruiter in the draft a few years ago and came up with J.J. McCarthy. What if a quarterback like J.J. McCarthy in the fourth quarter last night completed 4 out of 5 passes, or a point guard hit 4 of 5 shots behind the arc? Well, now when you're hiring, you can play at that level, because 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a high-quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter's technology hustles to find skilled people for your job, and you can invite your top picks to apply. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL.
Hey, this is Rich Eisen. Coming up on Tuesday's show, comedian Bert Kreischer joins me in studio, plus Arizona's Catch Machine, Trey McBride, and 2-time Super Bowl champ Chris Long. That's coming up on Tuesday's edition of The Rich Eisen Show on Disney+, the ESPN app, and ESPN Radio.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Coach Saban here, and let me tell you, every second matters. Preparation is everything, and that's why I trust Kidde Smoke Alarms.
And as North America's #1 home fire safety brand, they're built to respond over 25% faster to smoke detection. Kidde helps protect what matters the most. Find it at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. #1 claim based on total household installations as of December 2023. 29% faster average smoke detection based on internal testing of smoldering wood fires for Kidde 9th edition versus leading competitor 8th edition product.
I'm Kiana, and I leveled up my business with Shopify. Once I figured out that Shopify was a thing, I never turned back. I can create a site with my eyes closed. Shopify thinks ahead of us, and it thinks about the customer more than anything. Every day I'm thinking about some other new business, but Shopify is doing it to me because it's so easy to use. It's like I can't stop. I'm addicted.
Start your free trial at Shopify.com.
I like things my way, my coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the new Vyvgart Hytrulo prefilled syringe, which contains Efgartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. Now I can inject in my space on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VivGuardMyWay.com. That's VYVGART MyWay.com. And talk to your doctor about VivGuard Hytrulo. Brought to you by Argenix.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
Quick break. Got your fire safety game plan? When it comes to your home, every second matters. That's why we trust Kidde smoke alarms. They're built to respond fast and cut down on false alarms, so you can act with confidence when it counts. And now you can upgrade to over 25% faster smoke detection with Kidde's latest technology. It's more time to react and more peace of mind. That's why Kidde is North America's #1 home fire safety brand. So whether you're upgrading or installing for the first time, go with the alarms that deliver performance when it matters most. Kidde, help protect what matters the most. Find it at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. 29% faster average smoke detection based on internal testing of smoldering wood fires for Kidde 9th edition versus leading competitor 8th edition products based on total household installations as of December 2023.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
The Bears give up a 17-9 lead. 20 unanswered by Minnesota before the Bears got back on the board to make it a 3-point final. Minnesota on the road beat the Bears again.
Have a 17-6 lead and then see it go the way it did there in the fourth quarter. We said going into week one that the team that would make the least number of mistakes would win the game, and unfortunately we were on the wrong side of that. We made too many there.
You know, we had penalties and things like that, so it slowed the drives down, slowed the momentum down that we had, and we got to get better at those.
ESPN 1000 in Chicago. This song is going to be played for the Bears, but it's also a staple at Camp Randall, where I was this weekend for Wisconsin. So go check my Instagram at EFCO Radio, because I put that on there, I think, at some point. Unsportsmanlike is presented by Progressive Insurance. Insurance for motorcycles, boats, and RVs for protection on the road and on the water. See how much you can save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE and Progressive.com. I don't want to be too dramatic, but that had to have been heartbreaking for Bears fans last night.
It feels like an evergreen statement.
But here's what's not evergreen. A quarterback starting 10 for 10 and looking not as good, as great as Caleb Williams looked. He spoke pregame about the idea of learning how to play point guard most of the time and then Superman when needed, not Superman all of the time. And that's what he did last night early on in that football game. 21 of 35, 210, a touchdown, 6 carries, 58 yards, and a touchdown run. He wasn't sacked until the fourth quarter. Problem is, he was sacked twice in the fourth quarter. He was so good early on that the Vikings changed up their defense a little bit under their phenomenal defensive coordinator, Brian Flores, and started to blitz more. And when they blitzed more, he all of a sudden went 5 for 12, 29 yards, and a touchdown. And now the Chicago Bears, who had a 17-6 lead, saw their team collapse late when they thought they had it. And now, not to get too far ahead before we break down last night, they're also facing an 0-1 Lions team next week. Now you're staring at 0-2, hypothetically, facing this season that you thought was going to be great, starting with a win last night, that was right there for you. What happened to the Bears?
Well, I thought Kevin O'Connell got conservative with the play calling. And here's the thing. I actually understood why he did it. I agreed with
Ben Johnson,
him.
you mean?
I mean, Ben Johnson.
Yeah, sorry.
Ben Johnson, excuse me. Ben Johnson got more conservative with the play calling, and I actually understand why he did it.
So in the moment, you're like, good, this is what you're supposed to do.
Well, yeah, because it felt like a game throughout the first half that the Chicago Bears could only lose. It wasn't a game that the Minnesota Vikings could win because their quarterback was terrible.
Right.
Charles Barkley voice. Terrible. But they got conservative. They took their foot off the gas. And when they realized that the Minnesota Vikings were actually alive in that game, they couldn't get momentum back in their favor. They couldn't get it back on going. It's like they took their foot off the gas and they couldn't start the car back up. That's what it felt like for the Chicago Bears offense. So you couple that with Caleb Williams missing some throws in there and then having some mistakes that just can't happen going into his second year. I think that's the part that's probably the most jarring for, the Bears meltdown, the Bears collapse. The intentional grounding that Caleb Williams took at the end of the third quarter that led to a miss on the Cairo Santos field goal, that can't happen.
Right.
That can't happen. You can't make the degree of difficulty that much greater for your kicker who doesn't have the most range to be able to execute that and extend your lead. So those are the types of things that I wanted to see improvement from with Caleb Williams. And I get it. It's just week one. He's workshopping this thing. It's in a new offense. But you got to know when the journey is over. He's got a lot of ability, not only as a thrower, as a runner. I mean, the touchdown run speaks for itself. There was a play a few downs before that where he's rolling out to his right and he hits Rome Odunze on a strike.
Phenomenal.
I mean, only a handful of quarterbacks can make that throw.
Yes.
So if you're a Bears fan, there's plenty to be excited about. There's plenty to be optimistic about. That said, you blew a double-digit lead at home to a division rival with a quarterback that was in his first regular season start. It's hard to feel great about it. But I will say this. The dominant traits that we saw from Caleb coming out of USC, you saw those on display last night.
Mm-hmm.
It was just far too inconsistent. And hopefully Ben Johnson is able to stabilize the performances from Caleb Williams as we move forward.
I almost feel badly for Bears fans this morning. I really do, because you have to be so heartbroken after that game last night. You have the head coach that everybody wanted. You watched the Lions against the Packers and you looked at that offense and you were like, man, look at how bad they look without Ben Johnson. And now he's on our side. He's coming into this organization. He's going to vivify this offense. He's going to extract the best out of Caleb Williams. And he looked like he did it. He looked like he did it last night. He completed those first 10 passes. It was the longest streak by a Bears quarterback to start a season opener since 1978 and the most consecutive completions in Caleb's career. He looked awesome, and then it all fell apart. Ben Johnson blew an 11-point lead in the fourth quarter. It's the biggest by a head coach in an NFL debut since who? Matt Nagy, also a Bears head coach. And they have a very small margin for error. Another thing that we haven't talked about in regards to this Bears team, strength of schedule. Do you guys know they have the third hardest schedule in the NFL this season? They play 10 playoff teams from last year. 10. And so while you saw good things from Caleb in that first half, when you have an opportunity like that to get a division win at home to open the season, you cannot let that slip through your fingers.
Vivify word of the day, obviously. That was clear on Sports Like on Instagram, where Smalls does that.
It means to invigorate.
Right. So a couple of things on Caleb from last night. I started thinking about Bill Walsh last night because that was the first time I heard about the scripted first 15. And I never understood what that was. That was
the first time you heard about the first 15?
That was the first time for me, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying when I was watching the Niners back in the day where they would script the first 15 plays. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, that's what last night felt like for the Bears. Where Caleb and the Bears knew exactly what they were going to do for the first 15 and executed it perfectly. The problem is the game doesn't end after 15 plays. They got this lead, as CeCe mentioned. They're like, okay, well, let's use the running game. Let's be conservative and just hold on to the lead and get out of here with a win. It doesn't have to be the prettiest thing. So that needs to change because what we saw last night was Caleb can do it. But you got to do it for a full game. The other thing that needs to be discussed is, yes, Dan Campbell didn't have Ben Johnson, and that offense looked bad. Ben Johnson didn't have Dan Campbell. What do I mean by that? 2:02 to go in the game, and you're kicking the ball off. You cannot let time run off the clock because you need to kick the ball out of the end zone. You need to find a way for no time to come off the clock and then have them run a play before the 2-minute warning. They didn't do that. There was a return by the Vikings last night past the 2-minute warning. So they wasted a timeout. Situational moments when you move a couple of seats down on the bench changes. Ben Johnson has to get used to that as well. So there's a lot of parts of this that need to get better for the Bears, which is unfortunate. And I understand why you say you feel badly for them because we saw early on, they can do this. They just need to figure out how to do it for a full game.
But think about if you're a Bears fan. You're in the house last night, or you're watching from home. You've got, a Chicago hot dog or a deep dish pizza, and you're like, man, Caleb looks good. He looks awesome. And then it's the guy in J.J. McCarthy making his debut that comes back and wins the game. It just feels like if you're a Bears fan, you're like, when is it going to be our turn? When is it going to be our turn to have our quarterback be the guy? When is it our turn to have our quarterback be the hero?
You thought it was last night.
You thought it was last night, and it wasn't.
And not to nitpick, because I think Caleb had great moments. Pre-snap was concerning. There were too many times I thought in that game where the clock was running down to 2 or 1 on the play clock, not by design. Guys going false start. They got to work on that pre-snap stuff because that obviously is going to hurt.
Well, J.J. McCarthy said, hold my beer. if you talking about Caleb Williams pre-snap,
yeah.
J.J. McCarthy pre-snap was awful.
Well, I'm not defending
How many delay games did he have? Yeah.
But they won.
I don't know that either of these two teams are going to show up in the power rankings. Maybe Minnesota will. We're going to get to the power rankings coming up after I tell you all about Midas. I've been telling you about them now for weeks. Why? Because they care about you, the customer that's going to come through their doors, that they're not going to try to upsell, that they're just going to make sure your tires in your car are running the right way. Tire care shouldn't come with extra costs or surprise fees. It should be simple, straightforward, and stress-free. So at Midas, they're rolling out the limited lifetime tire guarantee, included with every tire purchase with paid installation. You'll pay nothing for flat repairs, nada for flat replacements, zilch for tire rotations every 5,000 miles, and zero for other preventative maintenance. So with this limited lifetime tire guarantee, you'll pay a whole lot of nothing compared to what the other guys charge for tire care. That's the limited lifetime tire guarantee, only at Midas.
This is ESPN Radio.
Chris Canty, he's phenomenal on radio in the morning. He's must-listen to radio in the morning.
On your radio, your computer, your smart speaker, or on the ESPN app.
Something's happened to him. I would look at somebody like Chris Canty and say he needs to be drug tested immediately.
We're everywhere you are. This is ESPN Radio.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
College football teams have moments they recovered from and made it like it never even happened. Like on September 24th, 2016, when Tulsa found themselves down 31-0 to Fresno State with 10 minutes left in the second quarter. Tulsa fought back to tie the game at 41. And then won 48-41 in double overtime.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
Your business is HVAC. You want to grow that business while providing the very best in service. Instead, you're struggling under a pile of administrative tasks. Service Titan is here to help with our all-in-one solution for the trades. We've made managing all of your business needs, from scheduling to invoicing, easier than ever. Service Titan, giving you the time and the tools you need to keep your company running smoothly. Learn how Service Titan helps manage your business at servicetitan.com.
This is Joe Budden. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So I'm here to make sure you don't miss any of the daily fantasy action this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right.
Download the Prize Picks app today and use code OT to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. That's code OT to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats. Gear up for an epic football season with unbeatable ticket deals in the Vivid Seats app. For the best selection, grab your seats now. Every ticket you buy gets you one step closer to a free 11th ticket with Vivid Seats rewards exclusively in the Vivid Seats app. Score awesome perks like surprise seat upgrades, their annual birthday discount, and more. Don't miss out. This is your sign to download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
You ever wake up with a sore throat, feeling a little off, and you know you're getting sick? Well, getting sick and going on the IL isn't an option, especially for me when I'm traveling for work. You can try to see a doctor, well, good luck there, or go sit for hours in an urgent care. Nope. That's why you need a medical emergency kit. This isn't some cheap first aid kit, okay? Your medical emergency kit comes packed with doctor-prescribed meds. It's like having an urgent care and a pharmacy right there in your home. If you're coming down with the flu, bam, here's your Z-Pack. You've got gastrointestinal issues, here's your Bactrim. From Z-Pack to ivermectin, amoxicillin, and doxycycline to treat strep, pneumonia, sinus infections, UTIs, COVID, and more. It's all right there in your kit. Just match your symptoms to the guide or talk with their telehealth doc. No doctor waiting rooms, no pharmacy lines. Order online in minutes and get $50 off with the code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. Get yours now at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. Use the promo code SMALLS.
If you're a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility and your machinery isn't working right, Grainger knows you need to understand what's wrong as soon as possible. So when a conveyor motor falters, Grainger offers diagnostic tools like calibration kits and multimeters to help you identify and fix the problem. With Grainger, you can be confident you have everything you need to keep your facility running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
From number 5 to number 1.
The best of the best of the best, sir.
These are the Chris Canty Power Rankings.
Ah, yes. It's Tuesday at 6:30 on Unsportsmanlike, which means we like to rank stuff. And these are my power rankings. And they're brought to you by SoFi. Get your money right. But before we get into the power rankings, she is the lovely Michelle Smallman.
Thank you.
Fresh off of Fashion Week events.
That's right.
Meeting Real Housewives in New York. I see you.
Shout out to Jessel.
I see you. And he is the Ocho.
Number 8.
Jean jacket. Canadian tuxedo. Evan Cohen.
No, I don't have jeans on.
Oh, you don't have jeans on?
No,
Sweatpants.
Oh, okay.
No, these are not. Feel these. These are nice.
I'm not going to touch your pants.
Why?
I'm just not.
I'm anti-Canada.
They're nice pants.
It's a great drop, Nuno. It's a great job.
Are they joggers?
But they're like
gosh, that is a great job. That is a great drop. Okay, these are my power rankings. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Number 5.
The Washington Commanders. They ran it up against my Giants in week 1, literally and figuratively. Washington rushed for 220 yards. It's their 7th game with over 200 yards rushing since the start of last season. That ties the Baltimore Ravens for the most in the NFL in that span. And for once, Jaden Daniels wasn't the leading rusher for the Washington Commanders. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, along with Debo and Austin Eckler, give the Commanders easy offense that doesn't require the quarterback to put on a cape. But when he has to, Daniels can dial it up. If there's any concern, it's the defense who had the lowest of bars to clear against the Russ-led Giants offense. Can they consistently get pressure on opponents without blitzing? That remains to be seen. Also, concerned a little bit about the right tackle, Josh Connerly. This is a guy that has never played right tackle in his life before he got to the NFL. So making sure that that transition goes smoothly goes a long ways to making sure the offense functions properly. Those are nitpicking, though, because this Washington Commanders team was one of the squads that everybody picked to have a little bit of pullback, a little bit of regression. Doesn't feel like that after we saw what they did in week 1.
And I think the mark of a great team is ultimately, do you beat the teams you're supposed to beat? And that's it. Like, okay, we beat them, now move on to the next thing. And, like, Washington is trying to become a great team year after year. There's no excuse to not beat the Giants, and they beat the Giants.
But it'll be a better litmus test this Thursday at Lambeau. How do you look against the Green Bay Packers?
That's not a team they're supposed to beat, which makes it even more interesting.
But when you look at some of the numbers during this game, you're like, oh, the defense, question mark. Oh, they look better. They were 30th in points per game in the fourth quarter last season. Didn't allow any Sunday. The run defense was better. But then you're like, oh, wait, they were playing the Giants, who did not look great. No. So you have to take it all with a grain of salt. I'll be very interested to see what this team looks like against an actual contender in the Green Bay Packers.
Next,
Number 4.
the Baltimore Ravens. Most complete roster in the AFC with a Hall of Fame backfield and a Super Bowl winning coach. Still, the fatal flaw of choking away big games is hard to ignore, which knocks them down in my power rankings this week. The latest meltdown saw Harbaugh take the ball out of his MVP quarterback hands and give it to the reigning MVP down 3 with 1:30 to go. Not sure why Harbs didn't go down throwing his fastball for a franchise that's analytically driven. Surprised they bucked the numbers in lieu of leaning on a defense that had given up 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to Josh Allen already up until that point. The Bills had no timeouts. If you get the first down on 4th and 3, the game is over. It's over. But still, the Baltimore Ravens, they're going to sleepwalk to a dozen wins this season. They'll win their division, which sets the stage for another opportunity to prove us wrong about their reputation as the best choke artists in the National Football League.
So I'm surprised you have Baltimore in there because
in the top 5.
Yeah, because remember, this is a week-to-week thing. This is not projecting as to who you think is going to win the Super Bowl necessarily, right? This is how you believe in them right this second.
Okay.
And after yesterday's show, go back on the podcast and listen. You were somewhat distraught about your former team, saying they now believe they're just going to blow leads. And I'm surprised you had them in the top 5. Even though you had them in the Super Bowl before the season.
They're going to blow leads in big games.
They have a lot of good teams that they're going to play.
But a lot of good teams that they go. When we talk about the Baltimore Ravens, who do we want to see them against? The Buffalo Bills, the Kansas City Chiefs. That's it. Those are their big games.
That's it.
I'm just saying.
They don't have any other. Listen, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
They don't have any other big games in the regular season, except it's the Chiefs and the Bills. That's it. Those are their only big games. I ain't worried about them against Cincinnati. Lamar Jackson owns the Cincinnati Bengals. He owns them. He owns them. The Pittsburgh Steelers, that's a rivalry. Okay, whatever. But, I mean, there are no big games for the Baltimore Ravens except for the Bills and the Chiefs, period. Next.
Number 3.
Speaking of the Buffalo Bills, they're number 3 on my power rankings this week. Sunday's win against the Ravens marked the 23rd straight game for the Bills without losing the turnover battle, extending the longest streak in the NFL, including playoffs. And Josh Allen is on another level, y'all. Down 15 in the fourth quarter. He leveled up to the tune of 251 passing yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, and a fourth quarter pass in the fourth quarter, and a passing touchdown, while averaging more than 12 air yards per pass attempt in the fourth quarter. Allen is the first player with 250 passing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns in any quarter since at least 1978. Being named MVP seems to have given him more confidence, and right now, there ain't a quarterback in the league that I'm taking before Josh Patrick Allen. Not one. Not one.
What?
There ain't a quarterback in the NFL that I'm taking before Josh Patrick Allen. Not right now. Not the way this dude is playing.
Not Pat Mahomes?
No. Smalls. Can you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Hold on.
Not one quarterback in the NFL that I'm taking over Josh Patrick Allen. Not today. If I got to win a game today, there ain't one quarterback I'm taking ahead of that dude. Not one.
Wow.
Not one. No, not one. I'll take you to church if you need me to.
Please do.
Not one.
Hallelujah.
Not one. On another level. You won MVP, took it to another level this year. Next.
Number 2.
The Green Bay Packers.
Let's go.
First time in my lifetime where I thought of the Packers as a defensively led team. First time. But it's apparent that that's the case based on the performance that they had on Sunday, dismantling the high-powered Detroit Lions offense. They held Detroit to 5 of 15 on third downs, 1 of 4 in the red zone while logging 4 sacks, 9 quarterback hits, and holding the Lions offense to 3.8 yards per play. And oh, by the way, they only blitzed Jared Goff twice on 43 dropbacks. So they blitzed him twice on 43 dropbacks. But they were still able to get 9 quarterback hits, 14 pressures, and 4 sacks. If that ain't the Parsons effect, I don't know what is. Belief is a hell of a thing, and it's clear that the arrival of Parsons has the Packers swagging a little bit different than in years past. And Air Jordan was great too. Jordan Love, 63% completion percentage, 126 yards and 2 touchdowns, no picks on throws of 15 air yards or more. If they get that version of Jordan Love with that defense, the Green Bay Packers are going to be in the conference championship game.
Oh, and by the way, you believe in their coach, too. It's funny what you said about the defense. I was actually talking about this in an interview I did last night about how before the Micah Parsons acquisition, our entire conversation about the Green Bay Packers was about Jordan Love. Consistency. Can he consistently be great? Can he stay healthy? That's their key to success. So much of our attention has swung to the defense and what they can do, how disruptive Micah can be, how they're going to get after the quarterback. That acquisition has changed the complexity of this team so much.
So who's number one?
Number one.
The Philadelphia Eagles was understood and got to be said they're the reigning defending Super Bowl champs. All right, so that's the power rankings.
Interesting list.
The Philadelphia Eagles checking in at number 1, Green Bay Packers number 2, Buffalo Bills number 3, Baltimore Ravens number 4, Washington Commanders number 5. Smalls, you are my accountability partner. Before we get to your objections and omissions, Nuno, do we have time to do it on this side of the break?
No, let's do it next segment.
Okay.
We're on Sportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance.
This is ESPN Radio.
Chris Canty is a football savant. Now you look at him and it's like, oh my Lord, the hostility.
On your radio, your computer, your smart speaker, or on the ESPN app.
What has happened to Chris Canty? He makes me look like a choir boy.
We're everywhere you are. This is ESPN Radio.
I'm Kiana, and I leveled up my business with Shopify. Once I figured out that Shopify was a thing, I never turned back. I can create a site with my eyes closed. Shopify thinks ahead of us, and it thinks about the customer more than anything. Every day I'm thinking about some other new business, but Shopify is doing it to me because it's so easy to use. It's like I can't stop. I'm addicted.
Start your free trial at Shopify.com.
I like things my way. My coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the new Vyvgart Hytrulo prefilled syringe, which contains Efgartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. Now I can inject in my space on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VyvgartMyWay.com. That's VYVGART MyWay.com. And talk to your doctor about Vyvgart Hytrulo. Brought to you by Argenix.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
Quick break. Let's talk defense. Football's on your screen, but peace of mind starts at home. Blink Outdoor 4 security cameras offer up to a 2-year battery life and Sync Module XR, so you can cover more space without constant maintenance. No wires, no fumbles, just easy coverage that works in the background. You've got your team on the field. Now get your defense at home. Get Blink today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
The FIFA World Cup 26 is coming to North America next summer. It will be the ultimate celebration of sports and culture. Get closer to the beautiful game with a hospitality package. Closer to the action in the best seats and suites. Closer to match day, elevated with world-class food and entertainment. Closer to the experience of a lifetime. Book a hospitality package at FIFAWorldCup.com/hospitality.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like to check if they're going for it on 4th down, before going to the concession stand.
Yeah, give me 3 hot dogs, 2 jumbo crackers. Touchdown, baby! What?
Hey, buddy, you want cheese with those?
Yeah, checking first is smart.
No.
So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Champion!
We can't get enough of the WNBA.
A fresh draft class has arrived.
Dallas Wings select Paige Beckers.
Teams stacked with new talent.
Julia's a complete dog.
The Valkyries take flight in the Bay.
Ridiculous!
We've got more stars and more heat than ever. WNBA on ESPN, presented by Google. We can't get enough.
This is Unsportsmanlike.
It was all a dream. Does your workout need a boost? Try Beyond Raw Lit, a clinically dosed pre-workout that gives you more energy, more focus, intensity, and pumps. The perfect combo for a killer workout. Plus, it's got incredible flavors and thousands of 5-star reviews. Pick it up at GNC stores or go to GNC.com.
Sorry, Biggie was playing. I had to bob my head a little bit. I always think about how perfect he would be today. Like, he'd be perfect in any era, but in all the collaborations with all different genres, his style was so awesome and so unique. I could envision him with any great artist in any genre collabing on a song.
Oh, yeah.
Not every artist, I mean, I'm not a musician by any stretch of the imagination, nor am I a music expert, but I would just say he has a style and a way, or had a style and a way of rapping where, like, put him with a country singer, put him with a gospel singer, put him with another rap artist, obviously, a pop star, K-pop. You could kind of hear him with all different genres. Yeah. Am I right?
There's no question about it.
Because it wasn't that era was sampling a lot of things, but not necessarily collaborating with other genres at that time. So anyway, sorry, Pat played the song and it was in my head there. Power rankings just complete. CeCe gave his week 1 into week 2 power rankings. Number 1, Philly. Number 2, Green Bay. Number 3, Buffalo. Number 4, Baltimore. Number 5, Washington. Smalls, go ahead. Feedback for CeCe on that.
Well, I think it's worth noting that this is our 3rd football season together, and I believe this is the first time the Kansas City Chiefs have been absent from CeCe's power rankings.
Yeah.
Very first time. So I wanted to make sure and emphasize that, because that speaks volumes about what you think of these other teams and what you think of the Chiefs. You always said what's understood doesn't have to be said about them. And now they're on the outside looking in. I thought you may give some love to the team that beat the Chiefs and the LA Chargers. I thought maybe they would be on the list. And the other team that I had circled that I thought you may go for is the Rams, beating the Texans. Obviously, you have a head coach, quarterback combo who's gotten it done before. As much as I know that you love Washington and you love Jaden Daniels, I thought the opposition for the Chargers and the Rams and the Texans and the Chiefs may have them in the power rankings over the Commanders who beat the Giants.
Yeah, here's the thing. The opponent matters, but also the history of the team matters too. And I just saw the Commanders make the Final Four in Jaden Daniels' rookie year, and it seems like he's actually taken his game to another level too. And I love what they've put around him. They've tried to make it a little bit easier for Jaden Daniels on a down-to-down basis. Now, listen, he still had 68 yards rushing. He still converted 3 first downs with his legs in that game. And so I think that element will always be there. But the fact that he doesn't have to do it every single down is what gives me optimism about the Washington Commanders being able to maintain their level of success as a team. This is another one of those franchises that I feel like is always going to be poised to go on deep playoff runs, and it's because of my belief in the quarterback, but also belief in the apparatus around said quarterback, the infrastructure on the organization. It feels like the Commanders are buttoned up. Can't believe I'm saying that.
I know.
But
after 1 year.
The Commanders are a franchise that is buttoned up right now. They're run really, really well.
Okay, so the biggest takeaway for me is clearly the Josh Allen over Patrick Mahomes thing. You said you were very specific. You said there's no quarterback today that I will take over Josh Allen.
This ain't a Lifetime Achievement Award. Right. I'm just talking about today.
The today part is what jumped out at me the most, honestly, in this, because I don't think the way you said it, emphasizing the word today, is much of a debatable point, because today Josh Allen has had the best season, arguably, of any quarterback, which is one game and only one guy has a double-digit comeback victory over the Ravens.
But coming off an MVP
coming
season.
off of an MVP
Correct.
season.
So the today part, fine, I'll give you that. And I will continue to reiterate that I don't think that you think that we should compare the Chiefs and the Patriots because you say things a lot that would indicate we're not there yet because you would never have said that about Brady back in the day.
Oh, wait a minute now. There are plenty of people that said they would take Peyton Manning over Tom Brady in Brady's prime. Let's not have revisionist history about how that rivalry was.
I'm glad you went there.
Come on now.
I'm glad you went there. Peyton Manning was way more accomplished at this point in his career than Josh Allen, and Josh Allen is unbelievably accomplished. But not the point. The point is this. Let's fast forward. So it's no longer today. It's January. AFC Championship game in Buffalo. You get one quarterback. You want Mahomes or you want Allen?
Based on what I've seen today, I want Josh Allen.
So you no longer are blindly going to pick Mahomes?
No, I'm not doing it anymore.
Okay, well, that is a huge change now.
But that is such a sign of respect for Josh Allen and what you see out of his game right now. I don't even think it's a diss towards Mahomes as much as it is respect towards Josh Allen.
You know what?
It is a diss towards Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is, along with Brady, the most accomplished quarterback in the history of the sport in the first 7 years of a career.
But
no one has ever done what he's done.
You just used the word accomplished.
Mm-hmm. What am I supposed to use?
But you didn't say he's the best playing right now. You said he's the most accomplished. You're leaning on a resume. You're not leaning on what your eyes have shown you recently.
Let me rephrase then. I believe he's the best quarterback right now in the NFL. I believe that he's still playing the best, even if it doesn't look that way, because I believe he still has to do the most. And he's asked to do the most. I don't think there's anyone close to him.
Hold on. What you're talking about is not something that can be quantified, though. Like, I hear what you're saying. It's more of a belief than it is anything tangible.
Yeah, and until proven otherwise, and I don't deem a Super Bowl loss as proven otherwise when Josh Allen and Lamar haven't gotten to the Super Bowl. I still deem a Super Bowl loss in this case, as it's compared to those two, above them. And so I am, until proven otherwise, I'm all in on Mahomes. I'm going to assume they end up in the Super Bowl. Can I argue that Josh Allen looked better statistically and numerically in that comeback than Mahomes? Of course not. I understand. You're right. What I'm saying is not quantifiable. I just believe that guy in the biggest of moments is going to be better than everyone else.
And that's fine, but do you believe that Patrick Mahomes is going to play in every single Super Bowl until his career is over with? Because I don't.
Okay.
Me either.
So at some point, somebody else is going to go to the Super Bowl out of the AFC. And what I'm saying now is based on how Josh Allen is playing, it's hard to see anybody else getting through there this year. That's my point.
Well,
and you've seen him play Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs really tough in the playoffs. He doesn't have those self-inflicted wounds as much as Lamar Jackson does. So you're going to put more stock in your belief in him.
What's interesting about this is you can't hype someone more than you have hyped Josh Allen just now. Yet based on the power rankings, they would lose in the Super Bowl because two NFC teams are above them. Think about that for a second. Not one, but two. You just said right now I have to take Allen over Mahomes in the moment, not career accomplishments, etc., but right now. And someone saying that, let's go to the Manning thing that you brought up. If anyone said, okay, you know what, Manning surpassed Brady, there's no NFC team you would then take over Manning. You would just assume they're going to win it all.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So you, not one, but two NFC teams where based on this, you would say, sorry, Buffalo, if you played Green Bay, I'm going to pick Green Bay. Sorry, Buffalo, if you played the defending champs in Philly, I'm going to pick Philly. So that actually should put into perspective how good you think those other two teams are. If you're telling us, I believe a quarterback has surpassed Mahomes, yet I don't think he'll win it all. Think about those two statements back to back. I believe a quarterback has surpassed Mahomes, but I don't think he'll win it all.
I'm feeling good about my Packers this morning. Thank you for that.
Brutal.
I'm going off of your list.
That would be brutal, though. I mean,
if you're a Bills fan, you mean?
If you're a Bills fan, to think about Josh being the next quarterback to get your team to the big game, and you lose again.
And he's playing like this.
That would be 5 Super Bowls that your team has gotten to. And
you beat LeBron in the conference finals and you lose in the NBA finals. What the hell's the point? It's like, okay, cool. Like, you know, that's what it is.
No, you finally get past Mahomes and the Chiefs. You get to the Super Bowl and then you lose to the Packers and the Eagles.
So just to tie it all together with the first hour, I'm just curious. I'm going to ask this question.
No, the Bears are not top 5.
What's worse? The Chicago Bears finishing last in their division again this year, or the Bills getting to the Super Bowl and losing it?
Bears finishing last.
Bears finishing last.
No question.
But here's the
crazy.
No question?
No, because at least if you're the Bills, you've taken a step forward.
Correct.
You've had some tangible progress you can look at. He won an MVP, check. We got past the Chiefs or the Ravens or whomever, and we got to the Super Bowl. So you could sit there and say, next year maybe we'll break through. Whereas if you're the Bears, you're like, what, again?
That's the problem. The Bears actually, you can watch the first half of that game and have such great hope for how great Caleb was, but you lose, and then you're thinking, well, how do I get out of last place? Because I just lost the team that I thought I was going to surpass. We're on Sportsmanlike, presented by Progressive.
I'm Brent, and I've been on Nutrafol for almost 5 years now. I like Nutrafol because it was a hair growth supplement that was completely drug-free. After 3 months, my hair got stronger and thicker, which gave a huge boost to my social life. I mean, it was life-changing, to be honest.
Get growing at Nutrafol.com/men. That's Nutrafol.com/MEN. These statements and products have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition. Real customers were compensated to share their stories.
Surprise! Your expenses this month were way higher than you expected. Also, you forgot to renew your website domain, and now you're in a bidding war.
You should see the look on your face.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Plus, the fridge died in the break room, and now everything smells weird.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
This is Joe Budden. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So I'm here to make sure you don't miss any of the daily fantasy action this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right.
Download the Prize Picks app today and use code OT to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. That's code OT to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
If you're a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility and your machinery isn't working right, Grainger knows you need to understand what's wrong as soon as possible. So when a conveyor motor falters, Grainger offers diagnostic tools like calibration kits and multimeters to help you identify and fix the problem. With Grainger, you can be confident you have everything you need to keep your facility running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats. Gear up for an epic football season with unbeatable ticket deals in the Vivid Seats app. For the best selection, grab your seats now. Every ticket you buy gets you one step closer to a free 11th ticket with Vivid Seats rewards exclusively in the Vivid Seats app. Score awesome perks like surprise seat upgrades, their annual birthday discount, and more. Don't miss out. This is your sign to download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
You ever wake up with a sore throat, feeling a little off, and you know you're getting sick? Well, getting sick and going on the IL isn't an option, especially for me when I'm traveling for work. You can try to see a doctor, well, good luck there, or go sit for hours in an urgent care. Nope. That's why you need a medical emergency kit. This isn't some cheap first aid kit, okay? Your medical emergency kit comes packed with doctor-prescribed meds. It's like having an urgent care and a pharmacy right there in your home. If you're coming down with the flu, bam, here's your Z-Pack. You've got gastrointestinal issues, here's your Bactrim. From Z-Pack to ivermectin, amoxicillin, and doxycycline to treat strep, pneumonia, sinus infections, UTIs, COVID, and more. It's all right there in your kit. Just match your symptoms to the guide or talk with their telehealth doc. No doctor waiting rooms, no pharmacy lines. Order online in minutes and get $50 off with the code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. Get yours now at urgentcarekit.com/smalls. Use the promo code SMALLS.
This is Unsportsmanlike.
Unsportsmanlike.
Joining us now is Alan Hahn.
What's Canty doing in the middle? Aren't you like the main voice guy that brings them in, brings them out, and all that stuff? Shouldn't you be sitting in the
driver of the show? It's unsportsmanlike, right?
All right.
So I'm the sportsman, she's the like, and he's the un.
It needs an un. I mean, it needs an un. Let's be honest.
Tell me about Evan Cohen. He's on. To put this on my marathon training.
Oh, you have no idea. It's still unbelievable. Camp Randall on Saturday, where I was for Wisconsin, Middle Tennessee, when that jump around hits, it's still unbelievable. My kids experiencing it for the first time at 12 and 9 years old. Oh, God.
Did they have a blast?
It was amazing. It was amazing. My wife and I both went to the University of Wisconsin, and going back there this weekend, we had an unbelievable weekend. When you hear jump around, that's what you think of. It just, oh, God, it was so great. Unsportsmanlike is presented by Progressive Insurance. Get renters insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit Progressive.com for more information. Last night, Minnesota beat Chicago 27-24. Chicago up 17-6 in the fourth. 21 unanswered points at that point for the Minnesota Vikings. 2 J.J. McCarthy touchdown passes. 1 J.J. McCarthy touchdown run. He was great in the second half. Caleb Williams was great in the first half. I suspect the first 15 matters, the scripted plays for the Bears. He was 9 for 9 on passing attempts during the first 15. 12 for 26 the rest of the way. Needs to get better on the unscripted plays as he is on the scripted plays.
He's got to get better against the blitz, too. 5 of 12 on throws against the blitz.
Not ideal.
It's
obviously.
A copycat league.
Everybody's coming after him.
If you struggle against the blitz, everybody is going to bring the house moving forward until you figure out a way to beat it.
All right, CeCe also said right now he has changed from a Mahomes guy to an Allen guy. Not anti-Mahomes. Hold on.
I see it.
You see how he's doing this?
I see it.
You see this?
I'm doing it.
You see this?
I heard it.
My God.
He switched.
You're an Allen guy. What did you say?
I said if I got to win a game today, there ain't a quarterback in the league that I'm taking over Josh Patrick Allen.
You went middle name. When you go middle name, you're officially one of his guys.
Well, I'm channeling my inner Christine Lisi, who I love and adore, and she is a huge Buffalo Bills fan.
Yes.
And there are no doubt that the Lisi treats up there in Bristol are on point this week.
Oh, I can't even
imagine. You should go up and get some.
Let's not get crazy here.
So after a win like that to open the season versus the Ravens, I bet there are multiple Lisi treats.
Oh, the Lisi
Not
treats.
just one brownie or one cookie. I bet there's a variety of options there.
Oh, yeah.
She's probably baking up a storm.
No doubt.
I think Josh Allen is awesome. I picked him for MVP last year. I was right. Bold prediction, Smalls, whether you like it or not. And he's amazing.
Great at being able to pat himself on the back.
He's amazing.
Bold prediction.
Anyway,
second shortest odds to win MVP.
The idea that we are just going to switch away from Patrick Mahomes to me is wild.
Even though the numbers are in decline, even though the offense clearly is lacking in explosive.
What numbers are in decline we're talking about here?
Patrick Mahomes' numbers, if you look year to year, have been in decline the past 2 seasons.
Okay, let me tell you how much I care about his individual numbers 3 Super Bowls in. Now that I'm done with that, come on, Smalls.
But this is what people do, Evan. They look at data, and then they look at what they see on the tape, and they're trying to forecast what they think is going to happen moving forward.
Your favorite baseball player is Albert Pujols. Was for a while, right?
He's the most dominant baseball player I've ever laid my eyes on.
He didn't get up to a point where you were like, I don't care what his individual 162 numbers are. I care about his numbers in October because he is that good. Of course you got to that point.
Yeah,
right, but Patrick Mahomes is coming off a performance in the Super Bowl where the Eagles worked them. He was essentially ineffective. So I understand your comp, but coming off that performance and then coupling it with what we saw in week 1, yeah, there's a conversation to be had there. It's not disrespectful to Patrick Mahomes to have a conversation about what we're seeing right now. And the past 2 games that we've seen from him is not as great as what we've seen from Josh Allen.
I think it is. I think it is a knock on Mahomes to say that we would take anyone over him. I do.
Hold on, you think it's...
You're knocking him down a peg.
No, but you're saying you think it is. You think he's still as good as we've seen him in the past?
Mm-hmm. Because there's one number I care about, and that's wins. And
I don't got nothing this year.
Oh, it's one game.
Okay.
888-SAY-ESPN. That is the part of the Unsportsmanlike Nation Dr. Pepper call-in line that you can call in on. That's the part of it.
One
That's actually
game
the phone
against
number.
a division rival who they never lose to, but it's just one game.
888-SAY-ESPN. 888-729-3776. ESPN Nation is presented by Dr. Pepper. It's not college football season. Without the delicious taste of an ice-cold Dr. Pepper, college football, it's a pepper thing. Tim in Kansas City, listening on 590 AM in KC. Morning, Tim.
Morning, guys. How we doing?
Good. How are you?
Oh, well, I was doing good until about 15 minutes ago. So here's the deal, Chris. Just be honest. If Josh doesn't pull that game out, is Josh your number one quarterback in the NFL?
Probably not, no.
Okay, so respectfully,
but it's still not.
Josh Allen was not working with a new offensive line.
Hold on, Tim. Can I still say this? Even if Josh Allen isn't my number one quarterback in the NFL because he doesn't have that double-digit comeback in the fourth quarter at home, Patrick Mahomes is still not the guy. Like if I've got to pick a quarterback to win a game, Mahomes ain't number one. He's not number two.
Okay, you guys can keep saying this, but let's wait till the end of the season and let's see where Patrick Mahomes is then.
Well, Tim, we still have a radio show that we got to do for the next, 18 weeks. We don't have the benefit of being able to wait to the end of the season. All I'm simply saying is sitting here today, I ain't taking Patrick Mahomes over Josh Allen if I got to win a game.
Okay, so Allen has
Who's two? And Tim, thank you for the phone call. Who's two?
Jalen Hurts.
Oh, well, that one, okay. I'm okay with that one. Joe in Virginia, listening on 94.1. What's up, Joe?
Good morning on Sportsmanlike. Would like to mention real quick about the Kansas City aspect. I really feel like Tyreek Hill is going to be traded if Miami keeps performing the way they are. But I'm a Green Bay fan.
Wait about 10 minutes. You'll hear someone say that. So great. Now you just said it now. Way to go, Joe. You're ruining my bit.
Sorry. I really feel like as a Green Bay fan, there's some extreme overreaction to we have the Super Bowl defense now because we traded for Parsons. Number one, Ben Johnson being off of the offensive coordinator position for Detroit, that was evident. They couldn't do anything. And as far as preventing Detroit from running, they only had 47 or 57 yards rushing. Yeah, they were down 10-0 at one point, 17-3 at one point. They had to abandon the run early, start the second half, down 24. It was just they couldn't run anymore. And then, of course, Jared Goff outside, as we all know. Outside of last year, he did good outside, but then his story for him, he can't play outside. Going against Washington, unfortunately, Michelle, as a new Green Bay fan, you will know we are bad against running quarterbacks. What does Daniels do? First of all, he's him, and then two, he could run to get first down. I really have a bad feeling that this is a complete overreaction, and I really feel like Washington's going to go in Green Bay this Thursday. Enough said. Thank you.
Smalls?
Is that a Packers fan?
Well, hold on a second. I was on the phone with a Packers fan friend of mine yesterday.
Yes.
Doesn't live in Wisconsin. Huge Packers fan, though.
Okay.
And he said the same thing. He goes, can we slow down on everything?
Really?
They're nervous now about too much hype. Too much. I'm telling you.
But the expectations ain't going to change just because the hype is crazy.
And that's surprising to me for an organization like the Green Bay Packers. Quite literally, we call it Titletown USA. The expectation is always Super Bowl. The expectation is always to be in contention. And then after a week one performance versus the team who was the king of the North in the division last year, you come out and you look like that when Micah Parsons is on a limited snap count and he's still that disruptive. And that's the approach we're going to take is like, hold on, I'm not going to be excited about this. That's surprising.
Yeah, I'm just curious, though, from the Packers fan perspective, though, Ev. Like, it's Super Bowl or bust. You literally mortgaged your future for now. You traded 2 first-round draft picks and a frontline player and gave Micah Parsons a $188 million contract. When you make a decision like that, you are pushing all your chips to the middle of the table. This franchise is all in on winning a Super Bowl over the next 2 or 3 seasons, period. As a Packers fan, there is no temper expectations. There is no be reasonable. It's either you win a Super Bowl or you have failed, period. This is binary. Like there is no either or. Here's the thing. The Green Bay Packers, and Packers fans should feel good about this, they have now graduated to one of the handful of franchises where it is genuinely binary in terms of what your season is. It is success or failure, period.
So it's like it's the Chiefs, the Eagles, the Ravens, the Bills, Packers. Anyone else in that mix? If you don't win the Super Bowl, it's a failure.
No, if the Ravens get to the Super Bowl, that's a success.
Bills too?
If the Bills get to the Super Bowl, that's a success.
So Packers, getting to the Super Bowl is not enough?
I mean, for the Packers, it's winning the Super Bowl, period.
Not just getting there.
Not just getting there, winning the Super Bowl.
Wait, why is it different for them than it is the other teams?
Because they just traded 2 first-round draft picks for Micah Parsons. And Evan, the highest paid defensive player was making $41 million a year. They just handed this man a quarterback contract, paying him $47 million a year. Mm-hmm. And they traded 2 first-round draft picks and a frontline player. That is your future. Like, you basically said, burn the boats. We're trying to win a championship. If you don't have mission accomplished in this 3-year window, then you're going to have to reset as a franchise. All of those young players on controllable contracts, those guys start to graduate. Those guys want to get paid. You got to do it now. And I credit Brian Gutekunst for doing it. It's a bold move, and I love it. And I hope it works out for him. But if you're a Packers fan, there is no middle of the road. There is no, hey, let's be reasonable. Hey, let's pump. No, there's none of that. Your team is all in to win a championship. Either you do or you don't, period. They are with the Chiefs. They are with the Eagles in a class by themselves in terms of success or the success of the season being binary. It is championship or bust, literally.
Couple of things just to tie this all together. Number one, I think what has happened here is making the case why an overreaction is just a reaction, right? Josh Allen over Mahomes, Packers could go to the Super Bowl. Some would say overreaction. You're making the case that, no, that's just a reaction to what's going on. That is not an overreaction per what you're saying. The only other thing that maybe it's semantics that I would argue on the Micah Parsons thing, and I think you're going to end up agreeing with this, is when we say they mortgage their future for Micah Parsons. They mortgage their future, in essence, for now and later. Most trades you don't get to do that. Micah is so young that they get the now and later.
Yeah, he's so young, but you also paid a lot of money, and you gave up draft picks. The beauty of draft picks, especially those premium picks, is that you get frontline talent for bargain basement prices.
Correct.
So now you don't have the ability to add those kind of guys on your roster. And, oh, by the way, you're going to need that with a pass rusher making $47 million a year and a quarterback making $55 million a year. That's the point. So that's why I say they mortgage their future. Even though Micah Parsons is young, he can't play all 11 positions at the same time.
So, but again, just to go back then for a second, quickly. Some would say, hey, Allen over Mahomes, overreaction. You'd say reaction. Some would say, oh, Packers, Super Bowl or bust. A little bit of an overreaction. You would say
reaction.
That's the difference here. Now, we'll see if it's an overreaction or a reaction, but it's your reaction.
No, it's not. But here's the thing. It's not an overreaction. It literally is Super Bowl or bust. You only make this kind of trade if you think you can win a championship.
Smalls, if they don't get to the Super Bowl, is your head coach in trouble?
No.
Is your quarterback in trouble?
No.
If they don't get to the conference championship, is your head coach in trouble?
No.
So they're good. They're golden. No pun intended with the wide receiver, but they're good.
Well, because you're thinking about the specific bust as in someone is going to lose their job.
Yeah.
I would be floored if Matt LaFleur lost his job.
So this is now year one of this new wave of 2 quarterbacks, one on offense and one on defense. That Matt LaFleur is in year one of having the quarterback money on offense and the quarterback money on defense.
I think it would have to go super left for that to happen.
All right, coming up, we will fast forward. We will explain what that means after Cece has this from Grainger.
It doesn't have to be Super Bowl or bust, somebody getting fired.
That's how I define it.
Well, the Chiefs ain't firing nobody, and the Eagles ain't firing nobody.
That's why I don't think they're Super Bowl or bust. Super Bowl or failure is different. Semantics. Very important.
Or the season just going bust.
There you go.
How about that? As you know, managing maintenance, repair, and operations is never easy, but for the ones who always rise to the challenge, Grainger has your back. From professional-grade products you can count on to fast, dependable delivery, they're there to help you keep things running smoothly. Plus, their technical product specialists are here to help answer your toughest questions, and because Grainger knows safety is always a priority, they're committed to being your partner in protecting both your people and your facilities. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
ESPN Radio, home of the World Series.
The Dodgers are World Series champions.
The NBA Finals.
The Oklahoma City Thunder 2025 NBA champion.
And the College Football National Championship.
Ohio State has won the national championship.
This is ESPN Radio.
Whoa! Jason Kelsey just found out that NFL Sunday Ticket now lets you subscribe month to month.
Yeah!
He just realized you can join and cancel anytime.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Now he just found $1 in the sofa.
Yeah!
And he just saw a great parking spot open up. Look, just because Jason's easily excited doesn't make NFL Sunday Ticket month to month any less great. Right, Jason?
Yeah.
Get NFL Sunday Ticket month to month and cancel anytime. Sign up at NFLSundayTicket.com. Renews every month during the 2025 regular season. Cancel anytime. Terms and embargoes apply. No refunds. Commercial use excluded.
GNC knows that you're not always feeling it at the gym, but don't get down, get lit, and get more out of every workout. Beyond Raw Lit is a clinically dosed pre-workout that flips the switch and gives you more energy, focus, intensity, and pumps. The perfect combo for a killer workout. Plus, it's got incredible flavors and thousands of 5-star reviews, so you know it's good. Pick it up at GNC stores or go to GNC.com.
The FIFA World Cup 26 is coming to North America next summer. It will be the ultimate celebration of sports and culture. Get closer to the beautiful game with a hospitality package. Closer to the action in the best seats and suites. Closer to match day, elevated with world-class food and entertainment. Closer to the experience of a lifetime. Book a hospitality package at FIFAWorldCup.com/hospitality.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
You didn't start a business just to keep the lights on. You're here to sell more today than yesterday. You're here to win. Lucky for you, Shopify built the best converting checkout on the planet. Like the just one tapping, ridiculously fast acting, sky high sales stacking, champion at checkouts. That's the good stuff right there. So if your business is in it to win it, win with Shopify. Start your free trial today at shopify.com/win.
This is Unsportsmanlike.
On your mark, ready, set, let's go. Dance floor pro, I know, you know, I go psycho when my new joint.
Unsportsmanlike is brought to you by ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Download the app today. 21 plus gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Oh, Michelle Smallman, Chris Canty, Evan Cohen with you. Reminder, C-Seat said today, Josh Allen over Mahomes. He had Mahomes 14th in his QB rankings. I believe he had Spencer Rattler ahead of Mahomes, right? Is what you had today?
You realize he's within arm's length of you.
You see how he says these things?
He won't hit me. He loves me.
And then people actually believe that that's what I said.
Oh, I know.
Like people.
I thought it was odd that you had Nathan Peterman over him. That was weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
Is he still in the league, by the way? Is he on the Raiders somehow still? All right, here we go. So what we're going to do.
One of those moments where I wish I could tackle him.
He is not on the roster right now.
Thank you,
It's one of those moments.
Go ahead,
One of those moments.
Could I take a hit?
No.
I would be more than willing to hurt myself as long as I hurt you more.
See?
Thank you. That's so sweet.
More than willing. More than willing.
You know what's interesting? I'm going to reveal something right now.
What's up?
Because it's just...
What?
Maybe I shouldn't say it. All right, whatever.
Say it. No, you can't tee it up.
I was on the phone with my alleged BFF from ESPN yesterday, which is...
Kevin Clark.
No. Hembo.
Oh. Well, I just know you tried to replace us with Kevin Clark, so I thought that might
tried
be
to
the
replace you.
BFF.
He tries to replace us with everybody that's on the show with him when we're out.
He's got a list.
Yes.
Top drawer, like a GM.
No question about it.
Don't.
Ready
Nice
to
to
go.
have Jason McCourty back, by the way. Anyway, so...
Paul Hembo, no matter what.
That's right. Paul Hembo, no matter what, is amazing.
So I'm on the phone with Hembo, and he was saying, hey, happy 2 years. What's different, now versus today? I'm like, CeCe loves me. That's the biggest difference. He loves me.
You sure about that?
I thought I was until he just threatened to kill me. So that was the biggest difference.
That's because you always say things that are... No, I didn't say it.
You said Mahomes.
You just said I
Lower
had
than Allen.
Spencer Rattler over Patrick Mahomes.
You even dropped in a Nathan Peterman.
People actually believe that.
Oh,
when you say it, people believe it.
It's on the internet, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Some blog has aggregated it.
What ESPN Super Bowl champ said? And then people on social media all angry and stuff.
Oh, here it is, an awful announcing. Canty ranks Rattler over Mahomes.
Exactly. They're going to have an awful announcer outkick all of the things. Everybody's going to say that I said this.
Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. Here we go. Okay.
Bad guy, man.
We're going to fast forward.
Stir it up.
So basically what I'm going to give you is, can we just get to, and it's going to be a scenario where we're going to fast forward, and your guys are going to tell me whether or not you can believe it or not based on circumstances that have happened. So we're going to fast forward. Can we fast forward to Mike McDaniel being the Lions offensive coordinator next year?
That'd be great.
I could see it.
You could see it, right? Hey, unfortunately for him, and I'm not an anti-Mike McDaniel guy, I was hoping he would work with the Dolphins. I thought the Dolphins made 2 good hires at the head coaching position in a row. The reality is when Mike McDaniel's done with the Dolphins, he's going to have a worse winning percentage than Brian Flores did. That's what's going to happen. He is actually going to end up worse than Flores if they don't fire him in season, win percentage-wise. And the Lions' offense this year, I know it's only 1 week, but boy, do they miss Ben Johnson. Mike McDaniel, OC, Lions, 2026. You can believe it if we fast-forward that? Both of you?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Can we fast-forward to Tyreek Hill just getting traded to the Kansas City Chiefs already? Or released and signing with the Kansas City Chiefs. Can we just fast forward to that?
I love that these are all Dolphins hot mess based.
Well, they're not all.
Right.
But that was
so far. Because that really was one of the biggest takeaways after week 1. We didn't think it was going to be good in Miami. We didn't think it would be this bad out of the gate.
Can we fast forward to Jackson Dart starting October 5th at New Orleans? Everyone talks about him starting before that. Look at the Giants' schedule.
Oh, it's so brutal.
I am a Russ guy. I still think he should be the starter for at least a little bit longer.
Why? Because you believe in him or because you don't want Jackson Dart to get ruined?
Well, both. I don't know. I don't believe that Russ is a Super Bowl winning quarterback anymore, obviously, but I believe that you need to buy yourself time.
Well, he had a 46% completion percentage in week 1. It's his worst completion percentage in a game since 2022.
So this one you don't believe because you think he'll be starting before October 5th in New Orleans?
Well, here's what I don't understand. Everybody's talking about not putting Jackson Dart in the game before he's ready, but you do realize by elevating him from number 3 to number 2 on the depth chart, he's 1 hit away from going into the game. So if you think he's good enough to go into the game because you have him as your number 2 quarterback, why the hell aren't you putting him out there when it's clear that Russ is cooked? That makes no sense to me.
Because maybe he's actually not ready.
Then why have him as the backup quarterback?
Because you want to get him ready by playing him random packages throughout the game.
Well, I don't
one series here, one series there.
But that doesn't mean I have to have him as the backup. I can have Jameis Winston as the backup quarterback and still have Jackson Dart active. I can do that.
The rules changed on that? Where I
can carry 3 quarterbacks on game day. There's no rule against that.
Oh, the emergency QB. No, it used to be with the third quarterback and the other 2 are inactive.
If you're carrying 2 quarterbacks on the active roster on game day, then you can have a 3rd emergency quarterback. But you can also just carry 3 quarterbacks on your active roster on game day.
Yeah, probably not the smartest, but I understand what you're saying.
Well, if the whole goal of this season is to develop Jackson Dart and you're afraid of him being out there before he's ready, then why have him as your backup quarterback? That makes no sense.
Next, fast forward. Can we fast forward, Smalls? This one's for you.
Okay.
To October 26th. Packers at Steelers, both teams undefeated.
Oh, that would be so juicy.
Both teams undefeated. Look at the schedules, ladies and gentlemen. It's not impossible. If you believe the Packers are what we saw on Sunday, which I don't know why you would believe otherwise, Commanders on Thursday, which we'll be at in Green Bay, ESPN Milwaukee, ESPN Madison, ESPN Beaver Dam hosting us, thank you, and you believe the Steelers are a version of what they were on Sunday against the Jets, and you look at the schedule, now the Vikings game feels like it's going to be a lot harder than we thought, but it's not impossible those two teams undefeated. Can we fast forward to that?
If you think Aaron Rodgers wanted to beat everybody within the Jets organization, you know he feels that times 10 with the Packers.
Man.
It's not impossible.
You think Aaron Rodgers is going to be comfortable with Micah Parsons hunting his ass?
Good luck.
And this one is based on all of the hype. So it's based on all the hype.
Good luck.
Can we fast forward to the Bills and the Packers in the Super Bowl? Because it feels like
that
everyone.
That was my Super Bowl pick, and I'm
everyone has kind of placed those two in there.
Super Bowl
that was my pick. But remember, I took some heat because I picked the Bills over the Packers.
How you feeling about that now?
The way Josh Allen came back against the Ravens and won that game, I'm feeling pretty good about that pick. Not as a Packers fan, but that's why I deferred to the Bills and that projection, because I believed in the MVP to get it done, even if there were tough circumstances in that game. I think that's even what I said on the show. And then after what we saw on Sunday night, I feel pretty good about that.
So fast forward. Mike McDaniel to the Lions as an OC. Tyreek Hill to the Chiefs as a wide receiver, obviously. Jackson Dart to start October 5th for the Giants at New Orleans. Green Bay and Pittsburgh, undefeated matchup Sunday Night Football, October 26th, and the Bills-Packers Super Bowl. Let's fast forward to all of those. We'll fast forward to Dan Graziano, ESPN NFL reporter and insider, next on Unsportsmanlike.
Hey, this is Rich Eisen. Coming up on Tuesday's show, comedian Bert Kreischer joins me in studio, plus Arizona's catch machine, Trey McBride, and two-time Super Bowl champ Chris Long. That's coming up on Tuesday's edition of The Rich Eisen Show on Disney+, the ESPN app, and ESPN Radio.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible, overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
If you're a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility and your machinery isn't working right, Grainger knows you need to understand what's wrong as soon as possible. So when a conveyor motor falters, Grainger offers diagnostic tools like calibration kits and multimeters to help you identify and fix the problem. With Grainger, you can be confident you have everything you need to keep your facility running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I like things my way, my coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the new Vyvgart Hytrulo prefilled syringe, which contains F-gartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. Now I can inject in my space on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VyvgartMyWay.com. That's VYVGART myway.com. And talk to your doctor about Vyvgart Hytrulo. Brought to you by Argenix.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats. Gear up for an epic football season with unbeatable ticket deals in the Vivid Seats app. For the best selection, grab your seats now. Every ticket you buy gets you one step closer to a free 11th ticket with Vivid Seats rewards exclusively in the Vivid Seats app. Score awesome perks like surprise seat upgrades, their annual birthday discount, and more. Don't miss out. This is your sign to download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
This is Joe Budden. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So I'm here to make sure you don't miss any of the daily fantasy action this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right.
Download the Prize Picks app today and use code OT to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. That's code OT to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the weather first, before wearing face paint to the game.
Bro, your Go Cats is dripping into your nachos.
Oh, and now paint is in my eyes.
Interception! Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Never in my life heard anybody from Mississippi take up for somebody from Ohio the way old fools did. Don't make me get on you, son. Behave when you come in the Fine Bomb Show.
Oh, Fun Bomb. Weekdays at 3 Eastern on the ESPN app and the SEC Network.
This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Dak Prescott's the most to do with any, not just quarterback, any player this year. The owner who made that choice to stand on business, whatever that was, and move on from Micah Parsons. And also, he's making more money than anybody else at that position of quarterback, making $60+ million a year. If you're Dak Prescott, this is not the way you wanted it, but it is what it is in front of you. But everything's going to be placed at your feet.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Unsportsmanlike with Evan Canty and Michelle.
We are Unsportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2. We are presented by Progressive Insurance. Joined now in studio by both Dan Graziano and Jason McCourty here on Unsportsmanlike. This is cool.
Football season now.
Football season.
That's
right. For each of you, let's start with last night. Last night told you more about Caleb or J.J. McCarthy?
Oh, I'm going to say J.J. McCarthy, and that's not a knock on Caleb or anything like that, but I think the way the game unfolded, the adversity that J.J. McCarthy had to face in his first career start, a first half being down like that, throwing a pick six, the way he responded, if you're in that locker room, you're like, you know what, damn, we got our guy. Like, we know no matter what we go through this season, he's going to be able to respond, and he's still going to be in it.
And that's huge because Caleb, we know, is a work in progress, right? The new head coach, Ben Johnson, is supposed to fix whatever was wrong, didn't get fixed last year. Same thing with J.J. McCarthy, but he's taking over a team that won 14 games and has high expectations. So one of the questions about J.J. McCarthy was not just how's he going to be, but is he up to the task of keeping this team at or near the top of the NFC? And to come back like he did after, the first 3 quarters of the game were not good, right? And so to have to have a fourth, if you hypothetically went to bed after the pick six and didn't watch the rest of the game and woke up this morning at 4:00 and you would be surprised to see what happened. Hypothetically, you might be surprised to see what had happened. But
I didn't pick up on that at first. Well done, Grass. Well done, Grass.
If you were in that situation, but yeah, I think the fact, and then you look at what was said about him afterwards, and you just see they're in a good place with him, and I think that was one of the offseason questions.
Graz, the Bears' offense worked until it didn't. What went wrong in that second half?
Brian Flores, right? Eventually, that's going to catch up with you. That's what he does in terms of disguises and different kinds of looks. I think you don't give a pass, but that's a tough that's a tough draw week one if you're trying to show off. Here's where I got better and all. I think we saw enough good. Boy, you still see the crazy stuff, right? Like that throw where he's running to the sideline and throws it back across his body, and you're like, other people can't do that. So you see why people are enamored, but still a work in progress there. I don't think anybody expected Caleb Williams to be, MVP caliber in week one of 2025.
Yeah, I would agree. He definitely looked a lot better. And even in the first half, there was some scrambles. He was holding the ball. But I thought, to Graz's first point, Brian Flores, in the beginning of that game, Ben Johnson has gone against Flo, and he lit him up last year. And Flores in the first half didn't rush 5, 6 guys. He didn't have 7 guys standing at the line of scrimmage, what has kind of become his staple in Minnesota. And I felt like in that second half, he was like, you know what? Let's go after him a little bit more. Let's go show him some of the looks, because you have to kind of see what Ben Johnson was going to be with Caleb Williams. I think once he figured that out, they put more pressure. And I think the same things we celebrated Caleb for in the first half of the scrambles and the running around that he made some plays on. In the second half, it didn't go as well. Stepped out of bounds accidentally.
The intentional grounding was egregious.
And so we celebrated that in the first half when it worked, and then in the second half when he scrambled it down and it didn't work as well, now we're saying egregious and words like that. So I think he definitely performed better. There was times he stepped all the way up in the pocket, made some good throws. It fell apart a little bit in the second half. They didn't capitalize when they had kind of Minnesota on the ropes.
Let's reflect on the other big NFC North matchup this weekend, the Lions and the Green Bay Packers. I want to hear from both of you. Jason, we'll start with you. More impressed by the Packers or more concerned with what you saw with Detroit?
Oh, I'm going to go with both on that one. The Packers were very impressive. I think we got to see firsthand what Micah's going to be able to do. Not the sack, but there were other plays where he affected Jared Goff and the coverages rolling behind him and doing some things in Jeff Hafley's defense. We got a small snippet of what that's going to become when Micah's out there full time. On the other side, that Lions offense, like we made a big deal of Ben Johnson leaving, as we should. They look completely out of sync. There were no easy plays, it felt like, for Jared Goff, where we watched them for the last few years, where it was just like they'll pick up a 30-yard gain and somebody's just wide open. We didn't see that. It was very hard for them to do anything offensively.
Yeah, for me, it was more about the Packers, because I'm sort of willing to give the Dan Campbell Lions a little bit of a grace period here, and say maybe it's like 3-4 weeks from now I'll feel like, oh, there's a problem. But I thought the Packers were outstanding on both sides of the ball in ways that made me feel like, okay, this is something that I may have assessed correctly. I think the Packers are a real threat to go to the Super Bowl this year. They were 11-1 last year against everyone who wasn't the Lions, Vikings, and Eagles, and they went 0-6 against those teams, counting the playoff loss to Philly. So to beat the Lions is a huge step for them in terms of their confidence. But you look, Jordan Love wasn't healthy this year. He's healthy. The defense was top 10 in a lot of metrics last year in the first year of Hafley's system when they were learning it. Now, other than Micah, I mean, they know it. And I think that's going to show up, and it's going to be better. Also, the addition of Micah. It's a young team, but it's also a playoff seasoned team with high-level play callers on both sides of the ball. And I think coming off a week one victory where they're that dominant over the team that has won their division the last couple of years, that only bolsters their confidence going forward. I think they're very dangerous.
We are on Sportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio, presented by Progressive Insurance. That is Dan Graziano, Jason McCourty here as well. Jason, you were on the call, excuse me, very emotional, on Sunday at CBS for the Colts and the Dolphins. You played for the Dolphins for a year. Side note, you brought up Brian Flores. My prediction is he's going to finish with a better winning percentage as Dolphins head coach than Mike McDaniel, if Mike McDaniel plays out this whole season. What did you see from both teams in that game? Because the Dolphins were stunningly bad and the Colts maybe stunningly good?
Yeah, let's start with the good. And what we saw, I got a chance to talk to Shane Steichen and a lot of guys on the team. All they talked about going into that game was being aggressive and attacking offensively. We saw that from the very first possession, them getting the ball to Tyler Warren in space, letting him make plays. Daniel Jones was incredible on Sunday. He was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL in week one. The throws he made, the decisions he made was very impressive. I don't want to spend too much time on the Colts because the Dolphins, you look at their offseason, and it was all about a roster reset. It was getting rid of players that could have potentially been cancers in the locker room. It was all about the good vibes of how they were moving forward and becoming tougher as a team in the preseason. And then you watched the way that game unfolded for them Sunday. Offensively, having Tyreek Hill out there, having Jalen Waddle, Tua is healthy, and they just got nothing going. They had 0 points up until the fourth quarter when they finally were able to put something on the board. So that was a really bad performance by Miami and not one that I expected.
I'm a little surprised that they didn't sign you before you left, because the Miami cornerback situation is a dire.
I can't help it though.
Like even if
I can make it go bad.
I'm surprised you didn't get a contract offer. Is all I'm saying. No, look, I was at their camp. I heard a lot of the stuff about culture and how they're trying to reset it, and it all sounded very good. And maybe ultimately, again, it's one game, right? The problem is when you look bad in week 1 in all the ways people were worried about, right? Then all of a sudden it feels like exactly. So they could really use a strong week 2 against the Patriots, but the Colts, very interesting. I mean, this is a team that I think. You look at the Colts, like the Texans have won the division 2 years in a row. 2 years ago, the Colts were in it week 18. If they beat the Texans in week 18, they would have won the division. Last year, they finished 2 games behind them. So if the Colts have a good defense with Lou Anarumo coaching it, which is entirely possible, and if Daniel Jones can just sort of distribute the ball, right, they have some good players. So I think they're definitely a team to watch. I don't know that they're going to get as juicy a matchup in terms of just personnel in the secondary as Miami is right now. But, again, when you look that good in week 1, confidence, and you can build on that.
Graz, I'm ready for the Giants to start, Dart. I don't think it's going to get better with Russ against the Cowboys, Chiefs, and Chargers coming up. And here's the thing. There are so many people that have been banging the drum for Jackson Dart to stay on the bench because they don't want to rush the kid out there before he's ready, before he's developed enough to be able to protect himself. If that's the case, why is Jackson Dart second on their depth chart? Why is he their game day backup quarterback, knowing that he's one hit away from being in the game? I don't understand the argument that, hey, we don't want to put him out there before he's ready, but he's our backup quarterback, and the starter is 38 years old. How does that make sense?
It doesn't when you put it like that. Okay. Obviously, the fact that he's a backup means they're comfortable putting him in a game if they have to, obviously. So I had that game in Washington, and I actually have the Giants again this week in Dallas. So I was as disappointed as anyone when the announcement came out yesterday that it wasn't going to be Jackson Dart. Because I love Graz's honesty. I just think it's going to be a better story. Right? Like, it'd be a better story to cover if it was Dart. Because I think, we've seen this movie with Russell Wilson.
Graz is rooting for him.
Exactly.
We'll see him behind Jerry Jones.
Interesting. Exactly.
We always see him behind Jerry Jones. I'm sure we will on Sunday.
So talking to people with that organization, they have a plan for Dart. They don't want to go off of it. Brian Daboll and their offensive coordinator, Mike Kafka, have made this entire plan, like have written it out, like in a notebook of some sort. And it talks about benchmarks that other young quarterbacks they've worked with have hit and when. And two of the, we're not going to compare, right? But Daboll with Josh Allen in Buffalo, Kafka with Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. They feel like those are two pretty good examples of success stories. So they want to follow, and kind of compare him along the way, not to those players, but in terms of developmental steps and what he clears and when. And they feel like they need to see him hit some benchmarks. I also think, they're not going to come out and say this, but if Andrew Thomas, their left tackle, was healthy, then it might be more... They might be more easily convinced to start the rookie. But if Russell Wilson looks that lost against pressure for a second week in a row, they're going to have to consider it.
I'm Jackson Dart. I'm looking at Russ. I'm saying, you got it, bro. You stay in there. You take those hits. You watch that game on Sunday. Yes, Russ did not look good, but I'm good on those hits. I don't want to get gun shy early on. I'll go ahead and watch it. On that one, we got to change the protection on the left. I learned it now. Now I got that mental rep. Give me a game or two. Give me about 3 or 4 weeks, and I'll be ready. I'm good right now.
New Orleans, October 5th. That's when you see him. That's my prediction on that one.
They didn't look awful. New Orleans, they were competitive.
Sure. Okay.
They were competitive. They're better than Miami.
Sure. Wait
a second. I was going to say goodbye, but is Miami the worst team in the NFL?
Based on week 1, sure.
Is Miami the worst team in the NFL?
I don't know. I don't think they're going to be as awful as people thought, but I understand it's a hard argument to make this week.
Dan Graziano, Jason McCourty, you'll see them on Get Up at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. Awesome stuff with both of them, as always, and awesome stuff when you go to ZipRecruiter. What if a quarterback completed 4 out of 5 passes, or a point guard hit 4 out of 5 shots behind the arc? Well, now, when you're hiring, you could play at that level, because 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter's technology hustles to find skilled people for your job, and you can invite your top picks to apply. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. That's ZipRecruiter.com/USL.
This is ESPN Radio.
Chris Canty, listening to him, and I'm waking up. What did Chris Canty say this morning? I mean, I love him.
On your radio, your computer, your smart speaker, or on the ESPN app.
But some stuff that he has been saying recently has been out there.
We're everywhere you are. This is ESPN Radio.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada?
Yes, please. Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/streaming and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/streaming.
Quick break. Want to make a big play on your next paint project? Go with Behr Marquee Interior Paint and Primer. Only at the Home Depot. With over 1,000 colors, exceptional hide, and advanced stain blocking, Behr Marquee is built to stand up to real life. No do-overs, no wasted weekends. Just bold color and a finish that holds strong. One coat coverage, no overtime. Behr Marquee. Only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Valid only when tinted to colors from the Behr Marquee Interior One Coat Hide Collection.
The FIFA World Cup 26 is coming to North America next summer. It will be the ultimate celebration of sports and culture. Get closer to the beautiful game with a hospitality package. Closer to the action in the best seats and suites. Closer to match day, elevated with world-class food and entertainment. Closer to the experience of a lifetime. Book a hospitality package at FIFAWorldCup.com/hospitality.
You ever wake up with a sore throat, feeling a little off, and you know you're getting sick? Well, getting sick and going on the IL isn't an option, especially for me when I'm traveling for work. You can try to see a doctor, well, good luck there, or go sit for hours in an urgent care. Nope. That's why you need a medical emergency kit. This isn't some cheap first aid kit, okay? Your medical emergency kit comes packed with doctor-prescribed meds. It's like having an urgent care and a pharmacy right there in your home. If you're coming down with the flu, bam, here's your Z-Pack. You've got gastrointestinal issues, here's your Bactrim. From Z-Pack to ivermectin, amoxicillin, and doxycycline to treat strep, pneumonia, sinus infections, UTIs, COVID, and more. It's all right there in your kit. Just match your symptoms to the guide or talk with their telehealth doc. No doctor waiting rooms, no pharmacy lines. Order online in minutes and get $50 off with the code SMALLS at urgentcarekit.com/SMALLS. Get yours now at urgentcarekit.com/SMALLS. Use the promo code SMALLS.
I'm Over It with Pat the producer.
I don't understand how you guys think that this is a competent Knicks organization right now. Nothing they're doing makes sense.
Hey, Pat, how's Paul George working out for your team?
The Sixers are terrible. I've been open about that. Is it possible to be incredibly impressed and respect something and hate it at the same time? Because that's how I feel about speed cup stacking. I don't like it.
You know what I think I'd crush at? Stacking cups.
More of a spoon diver myself.
I'm over it. I'm sick and tired and over it.
Get a life.
Yes, each and every day at this time, our producer, Pat Costello, gives us items in and around sports, entertainment, his life that he is over. I'm over Nuno screaming at us, by the way.
He was not pleased last week.
Oh, my God. Jason McCourty and Dan Graziano just popped in because they wanted to be a part of the show, both of them. Jason unannounced, and all Nuno cared about was the microphone setup, which I know is important.
Well, literally without the microphones.
Screaming at us about the microphones.
Yelled at us.
I mean, how about, hey, this is great, guys. Our show is developed enough where people just want to go to a different floor to hang out with us.
Or I was thinking about, hey, we still haven't tested that fifth mic. Let's test it before we say,
we would have figured it out. Am I right?
Yeah, you're
Don't
suggesting.
bring me into this mess with you.
Your suggestion.
I'm gonna let you have this. No. Don't bring me in it.
Your
Don't
suggestion.
put me in it, Evan Cohen.
Canty, his suggestion was I'll just sit out the segment. I'm like,
Well, whatever's best. We could have shared a mic.
Team
CeCe
player.
and I could have shared a mic. I would have sat in his lap.
Cece's like, speak for yourself.
Dad, don't put me in that, dog. If that's your grievance, you air it out with Nuno. Don't rope me into this.
Wait, is this a new development? Instead of Cece versus Nuno, it's Evan versus Nuno?
I'm sorry, is that a new thing?
That's a new development?
I think that would be Nuno versus Evan is what the way to categorize that.
Evan's like, yeah, I have a beef with this teacher, don't we? We have an issue with this.
Wait a second.
No,
Hold on.
No.
Wait a second.
That is you,
fine,
sir.
fine.
You.
That previous 10 minutes ends.
Trying to rope me into it.
Previous 10 minutes ends.
That's
Go back
you.
on the podcast and listen. Okay? Now, here's what happened. Cece said to Nuno, that was great. They were awesome together, which is the lead into, hey, maybe we should consider it that way every week. That's how that goes. And Nuno goes, it was fine.
and you don't think I was doing that just to be sarcastic?
Yeah, sarcastic. It's tongue in cheek.
Pat, floor is yours. Pat agrees with me. I saw Pat laughing when I said Nuno was screaming about the microphone. That was his number one concern.
I yelled at Nuno for yelling at you guys. I had your guys
thanks,
back
Pat.
on that.
Thank you, Pat.
Appreciate you.
A rare opportunity for that to happen, so don't get used to it.
He just wants to yell at Nuno. It has nothing to do with us.
A chain of yelling here. I had to yell at Pat for yelling at Nuno for yelling at you. It's getting out of hand.
I don't know what we're yelling about! So I had a big argument yesterday with a couple people in my life over what is the least versatile condiment. Because I think it's relish. Because I think relish has one move. You put it on a hot dog, that's it. No one's ever like, boy, let me fire up some relish for this turkey sandwich. You never see it. It's got one thing, and that's it.
Is relish a condiment?
There's sometimes you
Yes.
put a version of a relish, not the relish that you're speaking of, but a different version of a
On a
relish.
turkey sandwich, yeah, it
or
hits,
like
yeah.
on a sandwich or like a crab cake
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, there are those
Really?
artisanal relishes
Yeah.
that you can put. Yeah.
Okay.
But you know, some may call that a
bougie.
chutney.
Artisanal
Yeah.
relish.
I think you're thinking more of a chut. What's the difference between a chutney and a relish?
I don't know.
Stand by, research
It
is
seems
on.
like they're cousins, though.
They're adjacent.
Yeah, exactly.
What, Pat, conversely, most versatile?
Mayo, easily mayo.
Mayo is disgusting.
I agree with that, but I respect it still for what it is.
What about
Respect
salsa?
it? Why? If it's nasty, why do you? It's congealed fat.
But a lot of
That's
people,
all it
I mean,
is.
think about it. You can put it
Mayo
on
is
your.
disgusting.
It is, but people put it on their deli sandwiches. They put it on all of
Correct
their.
answer here is ranch.
Most versatile?
Ranch is the most versatile condiment out there. You
Here's
can put
why
ranch
there's an
on
argument, though.
you can put ranch on chicken. You can put ranch on a sandwich. You can dip your fries in it. You can put ranch on a salad. You can put ranch on anything.
What about breakfast?
Ranch and eggs. Never tried it. Not against it.
That's why it could be salsa. Salsa could be used for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I can't put salsa on wings.
Okay,
put
but
ranch
you were
on
just going to
wings.
come up
Damn
with
sure can.
By the way,
Damn sure
do you know what
can.
the, do you know what the base
pizza
is to
and
ranch?
Pizza and ranch, yeah.
The base to ranch is mayo. Just to be clear here.
Right, but it's an elevated version of that.
Yeah, but it's in the coaching tree of mayo.
Okay, speaking of trees, can I give you the chutney versus relish here? Because I know America's dying for it. Chutney is a mix of fruits, veggies, and spices. Relish is typically made from strictly vegetables, and it's pickled. So you're right; they're in the same family.
Yeah,
Relish has one move. It's got nothing. It's got hot dogs.
Is
That's
there
it.
a food?
It's disgusting.
Is there a food
Say that
that
about-
works
you like
with
Miracle
more?
Whip?
No, I don't like any type of mayonnaise-based product.
Oh, I love it.
So if you're going sandwich, it's strictly mustard.
Yeah.
Anything else?
It just depends, but mostly just mustard.
Some people like a Thousand Island dressing
Nah,
or
I don't
something
do
like
that.
that.
I don't
that's
do that.
mayo.
That's mayo.
Oh yeah,
I don't
that
do
is mayo-based. You're right.
This is what
that.
I'm saying. Mayo's unbelievable.
I don't do that.
Not even Chipotle mayo, Canty?
Hell no.
That stuff's
Not
so
aioli, none of that crap.
Oh, I love a good aioli.
So good.
Apparently, some people bake with mayo. Pat was saying.
It's just congealed fat.
That's how I feel
wrong
about
with that?
cottage
That's what I am.
cheese. It's curdled milk. People that eat cottage cheese gross me out so hard.
But that's healthy, right? Because I'm grossed
I
out
don't
by
care.
No, I'm
Good
asking.
protein.
Listen, I ain't got to.
Oh, when they're like,
if
let me
that's
put
the
some
cost of
cottage
being healthy, I ain't
cheese
doing
in my
it.
melon. Same thing with hard-boiled eggs. There's nothing, and I mean nothing, more disgusting than a hard-boiled
I
egg.
like hard-boiled eggs without the yolk.
Oh.
Thank you. Is there a
Slimy,
food
smelly.
that's more versatile for as many condiments as rice would be?
Okay, this guy with the rice.
This guy
I'm
is
just
so
saying.
heavy on the rice.
Pat,
He just
where
says
you
rice
at,
is
man? What's the
underrated.
next one, dog?
Rice. Also, a very not versatile horseradish. Terrible. No versatility
I
at all.
love horseradish with a good prime rib. Oh, boy.
It's got like 2 moves.
That's fine. The 1 or 2 moves it has is dominant. Reggie White had a hump move, second all time in sacks.
They make horseradish mayo, by the way, if you want it.
That horseradish one opens up your senses a little bit.
Yeah, man. That horseradish on that prime rib, God bless, boy. Woo.
Pass.
That's fine.
No, I know you're angry, but your Giants are unwatchably bad. You know that's right. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page here. Like, unwatchably bad.
Yes, Pat, I know that.
And it's over for Russell Wilson?
It's been over for Russell Wilson.
But they shouldn't start Jackson Dart. We've been talking about this kind of all show. They shouldn't. For what? It's irresponsible to put Jackson Dart in that position. You're going to get him killed.
But then why'd you draft him?
For the future?
Why'd you draft?
You don't have to start right away.
For a future that might or might not include this current head coach and general manager.
It's not going to. Some have
the
bold take saying it's over.
We're gonna draft him, and he could be the best option for us in our quarterback room. But we're not going to play him.
Yeah, but you're going to put him out there, and he's going to fail, and then it's going to look bad all around anyway, and then everyone's going to be like,
I don't know that he's going to
Jackson
fail, Pat. I don't know that he's going to fail.
Can't he? He's going to fail. The Giants stink.
I don't know
he's
that he's
going
to
fail.
I don't
They're
know.
not going to
Russell
look
Wilson stinks. I don't know that he's going to fail. I don't know. The Giants have him at wide receiver and Malik Neighbors. They got a 1,000-yard running back in Tyrone Tracy. They got an all-pro left tackle and Andrew Thomas when he's healthy. I don't know that the Giants stink as much as Russell Wilson is done. And he's been done for a while now. And they just keep re-racking this dude thinking that it's going to look different, and it's not. The only chance that you have of being competitive is by putting Jackson Dart out there, a guy that's capable of making everybody better based on the physical talents that he has. I'm not saying he is guaranteed to be great. I'm just saying that I know the Giants are going to be bad with Russell Wilson continuing to be the starter.
Adam Schefter, next. We're on Sportsmanlike, presented by Progressive.
Are you ready to unleash the beast? Monster Energy is here to give you the edge this college tailgate season. Loaded with bold flavors, our powerful blend gives you the energy you need to push you beyond your limits. Tune in all season long with Monster, the energy drink of ESPN Radio College Football Tour. Power your performance with a drink that's as hungry for victory as you are. Crack open an ice-cold Monster and dominate your competition. Monster Energy. Unleash the beast. Grab yours today.
The post-career day press conference brought to you by Progressive.
Anthony, can you tell us what happened during career day?
I'm a biomedical researcher. The kids just weren't impressed.
How did you feel when your son called in the backup?
Embarrassed. And I knew it would be a fireman. It's always a fireman. It's cliche, but a crowd favorite. He had an axe and everything. I can't compete with that.
And will the fireman be helping your son with his science fair project?
Hope not. I'm literally a scientist.
Like it or not, sometimes you need a backup. That's why there's Progressive to protect your home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
I like things my way, my coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the new Vyvgart Hytrulo prefilled syringe, which contains Efgartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. Now I can inject in my space on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VyvgartMyWay.com. That's VYVGART myway.com. And talk to your doctor about Vyvgart Hytrulo. Brought to you by Argenix.
This is Joe Budden. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So I'm here to make sure you don't miss any of the daily fantasy action this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right.
Download the Prize Picks app today and use code OT to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. That's code OT to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
If you're a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility and your machinery isn't working right, Grainger knows you need to understand what's wrong as soon as possible. So when a conveyor motor falters, Grainger offers diagnostic tools like calibration kits and multimeters to help you identify and fix the problem. With Grainger, you can be confident you have everything you need to keep your facility running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats. Gear up for an epic football season with unbeatable ticket deals in the Vivid Seats app. For the best selection, grab your seats now. Every ticket you buy gets you one step closer to a free 11th ticket with Vivid Seats rewards exclusively in the Vivid Seats app. Score awesome perks like surprise seat upgrades, their annual birthday discount, and more. Don't miss out. This is your sign to download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Just like in sports, businesses succeed when you add the right free agent. With Robert Half's specialized recruiter's experience, combined with their award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Learn more at roberthalf.com/talent.
He's the most interesting man in the NFL.
I had somebody yesterday text me, Mike Trout, hey, could the Eagles trade for Micah Parsons? Mike, go back to playing basketball. No, that's not happening.
Did you say that Mike Trout texted you that?
Every day, football questions.
It's Adam Schefter.
How is his job security?
Well, I think when you don't win, those things get called into question. I got to take this. Bye-bye.
Adam Schefter on Unsportsmanlike.
Each and every Tuesday at this time, Adam Schefter joins us, ESPN Senior NFL Insider, the Adam Schefter Podcast, and as always, brought to us by ZipRecruiter. If you need to hire for your business in 2025 and want an easier way to find qualified candidates, use ZipRecruiter. Try it free at ZipRecruiter.com/USL. Everyone knows Adam Schefter, the on-air personality, the NFL Insider. I have been fortunate enough to get to know him a little bit over the last couple of years, and you saw him on Sunday morning at Sunday NFL Countdown, right? Well, before that, you know where he was? In Springfield, Mass, going to show up at the Hall of Fame for Woj. That is a hell of a job by you, Shefty, and a lot of travel, I'm sure, this weekend. Before we get into football, walk us through your night at the Basketball Hall of Fame for your very good friend, Adrian Wojnarowski.
Well, it was a crazy kind of weekend in that regard. It was an event Friday night for him receiving the Kirk Gowdy Award at the Mohegan Sun. So maybe a little closer than Springfield, but it was roughly a 3-hour drive from my house on Friday afternoon. It's a great drive, you know, having to go up I-95 at about 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. Really nice. But Woj is honestly so deserving and such a great guy, and as good of a reporter, as great of a reporter as he is a better friend, husband, father, and there were so many people that made that trip to the Mohegan Sun on his behalf, and it was great. You entered a basketball universe, all sorts of Hall of Famers in the room. Carmelo Anthony was being honored. Dwayne Wade was being honored. Pat Riley. Who else did we see? Chris Bosh, Sue Bird, a bunch of great people, and just nice to step into a basketball universe. That Friday night for Woj. Saturday night, one of my best friends from college, daughter, got married upstate New York. So it was a nice, easy travel weekend. It was good.
Oh my God, Shefty! Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
It was unbelievable.
That's Adam's life now. Back when he went to college, he went to Michigan, so he's very familiar with the guy that played last night. And J.J. McCarthy had a hell of a second half for the Minnesota Vikings. But I want you to take us back to the offseason. How close were the Vikings, if at all, to not going with McCarthy and going with Aaron Rodgers?
I don't think they ever vacillated or wavered, and that's the whole thing. Sam Darnold, for all the discussion, they never were going to really re-sign him. It wasn't realistic that he was going to wind up back there in Minnesota. He was going to leave there, and that was one option. Daniel Jones, I think they would have liked to have re-signed Daniel Jones as a backup and insurance for J.J. McCarthy. They liked having him in the room last year, wanted him back. That did not get done. He had a better opportunity in Indianapolis, where Chris Berman had the great phrase last night, Indiana Jones, going to work on Sunday against the Dolphins. Daniel Jones goes on to Indianapolis, and then the Aaron Rodgers thing comes up, but from the sounds of it, it sounded like Aaron Rodgers was more interested in Minnesota than the Vikings were, certainly at that time. The timing didn't work. If later on in the summer he was still out there and he couldn't find a home and the Vikings weren't pleased with what they saw in the spring from JJ, well, at that point maybe it could have become an option, but it never really became a serious thing at all. And this team, for all the moves it made, was absolutely behind J.J. McCarthy the entire time. He was going to be their starting quarterback. And you watched them last night. It was amazing to think about. It was a junior varsity version of the game the night before that flip-flopped in the fourth quarter, a different version of it. But as you're watching J.J. in the first three quarters, you're saying, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, the Vikings could have an issue here. And then he lights it up in the third quarter and becomes exactly what I saw him to be at Michigan, which is poised, positive, and productive. The three Ps with him. Like that's him. He's always performing to that level, and they rallied. And, I mean, you could just see how much it meant to the entire team when he had that quarterback sneak for the go-ahead touchdown and how they celebrated in the locker room. It was pretty impressive, the whole thing, the way it was all done.
Shefty, one comeback win deserves another. Brock Purdy had a hell of a game-winning drive late in that fourth quarter up there in Seattle, despite having to deal with and navigate around injuries on both sides of the ball. What's the latest for the 49ers on the injuries front as they get ready for their Week 2 matchup against the New Orleans Saints?
Yeah, but he's got a left shoulder injury, and he's got a toe injury. And the toe is actually more problematic right now than the shoulder, whatever the toe is. The Niners didn't want to go into details yesterday. But they want to evaluate him as the week goes on. And it's clear that his status right now is up in the air. And if Purdy can't go, then Mac Jones would start on Sunday at New Orleans against the Saints. And that would be fascinating to see, just how Mac Jones performs in the Niners offense, because we obviously had been awaiting a 49ers Mac Jones union back when he was coming out in the draft, only before the 49ers changed direction and went Trey Lance in the last week before the draft. And so Mac Jones finally would get an opportunity to show what he could do in this offense if Brock Purdy can't play. I would say right now it's a coin flip is what it sounds like to me yesterday. But it certainly sounded, when I initially heard about it, like something's up there. And we'll see how the week transpires.
Adam, let's stick with injuries, but let's go to Kansas City and their receiving core. What's the latest you can share with us on what's going on with Xavier Worthy?
Andy Reid says he's day-to-day. And, I mean, that'd be great if Xavier Worthy could put his shoulder in a harness and get back out there. I don't know how realistic or viable that is. I don't know how productive he would be. If he plays, that's how he would play with a harness on this week. And I've never had to report with a harness on, so I wouldn't know what it's like to play with a harness on. But I can't imagine that would be particularly comfortable or help you make plays. But they're hoping that he's out there. I don't know that he will be out there. We know that Rashee Rice obviously is serving a 6-game suspension to open the season, so no Rice. We'll see where they are with Worthy. Clearly questions. And it's a big game because right now the Chiefs are the only team in the AFC West that did not win in Week 1, and they have the defending Super Bowl champion Eagles coming to town on Sunday.
We are on Sportsmanlike here on ESPN Radio, presented by Progressive Insurance. We are joined by Adam Schefter, as always, brought to us by ZipRecruiter. Get his podcast wherever podcasts are found. Adam, it seems rare that a team would have multiple player acquisition moves within the first week of the season, but the Philadelphia Eagles traded for running back Tank Bigsby, who was pretty good last year for Jacksonville, and signed pass rusher Zadarius Smith. What can you tell us about those moves? And I know we're already in the season, but are the Eagles done?
I don't think the Eagles are ever done. It's just not the way that they think and operate. They're always making moves. They're always looking to add players. I think that they identify certain guys that they like that fall down on depth charts. And the truth of the matter is on Tank Bigsby, I don't know that people realize this, is he initially was part of a deal that they had made with the Jaguars back in August to acquire him. And Jacksonville was trying to decide whether or not he would be in the trade for offensive tackle Fred Johnson. And Philly wanted Tank Bigsby then when they traded for Fred Johnson in late August. Jacksonville initially didn't want to include him, and then I think after Travis Etienne played the way he did on Sunday, and Bashal Tootin has impressed them the way he has, a rookie running back, they felt comfortable moving on from Tank Bigsby yesterday. And the Eagles also, I mean, it's just kind of interesting to note this as well, but they had, as of this summer, 5 fifth-round picks in the 2026 draft. Like, there's no way that a team as good as the Eagles can have 5 fifth-round picks come in and make their roster. Now, some of those guys could wind up being practice squad guys, but the Eagles made it moot, and they traded one of those picks to the Jaguars and one of them to the Texans and one of them to the Vikings. So I think they're down to 2 fifth-round picks in the upcoming draft. But they had a surplus of picks, and they decided to use them on players that they felt could help round out their roster.
Shefty, staying with the Philadelphia Eagles, all-pro defensive tackle Jalen Carter was disqualified from their season opener for spitting on Dak Prescott. What is the expectation in league circles on the discipline that the league office is going to dole out to Jalen Carter?
Well, what I would say to that, Chris, is usually when a player is going to be suspended, it happens on Monday. Usually. Not always, but usually. And so the fact that yesterday came and went without a suspension, to me, is a positive sign towards the availability of Jalen Carter in Sunday's game against the Chiefs. Now, we still haven't heard a ruling, and it's possible that we'll hear something today. But the fact that there was no suspension yesterday tells you, at the very least, that it's a real possibility that he's not going to be suspended. And I would say at this point in time, based off that it's probably likely that he won't be suspended, but there's no confirmation. Nobody said anything about it. Everybody's been tight-lipped about it, and we'll see. And I think if that is indeed the way that it goes, Jalen Carter didn't play at all last game. He walked out onto the field. He spit on Dak Prescott. His night was done. So he essentially was suspended for the last game, and now we'll wait to hear a final ruling from the NFL at some point, I would assume. Like, if there's no word, then there's no suspension. Like, you have to suspend him to be suspended, and there's been none of that so far.
Adam, let's stick in that division. We sit next to one Chris Canty every day, Giants Super Bowl champ, and he is pleading with the organization to open their heart to Dart. He wants Jackson Dart to start. Seems like the Giants are rolling with Russell Wilson, but how committed are they to him? What's the timeline as far as your understanding is about when Jackson Dart could be the starter for the Giants?
I think they're as committed as Brian Daboll says, which after the press conference on Sunday, he refused to commit to him. Now, yesterday he said, yes, Russell Wilson will be our starting quarterback Sunday. But I think we all know where this is at. Every time they lose a game, this question's going to come up. If they lose again Sunday, there's going to be more of this conversation. Because basically, it wasn't shut down this summer. It wasn't shut down Sunday. It's coming at some point in time. We just don't know whether it's going to be during this game, after this game, next year. The only way to shut it down is for Russell Wilson to play well and them to win. If that happens Sunday, I don't anticipate that there will be any Jackson Dart conversation. But in any week in which Russell either struggles and or they don't win, this question is going to come up until there's an answer that the fans seem to want, and that is Jackson Dart as their quarterback.
We're talking with Adam Schefter, ESPN Senior NFL Insider here and on Sportsmanlike, presented by Progressive Insurance. Adam's podcast brought to us by ZipRecruiter, wherever you find your podcast. Adam, by number of picks, to your knowledge, how many teams made a better offer for Micah Parsons than the Packers did?
I would think that the Eagles would be the only one.
And can you just elaborate on this? Because you reported this last week. So Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys fielding trade calls for Micah. Howie Roseman presumably calls. Do they ever make an offer? Yep. Do they hang up beforehand? Do the Cowboys ask for the world, i.e. Jalen Carter? Like, what actually happened with that?
I don't have a specific answer other than to say my understanding is that the Eagles absolutely were competitive. And if they were competitive, just think about it logically, Evan. If you're the Eagles and you're calling the Cowboys and you're trying to pry loose Micah Parsons, you're going to have to pay 120 cents on the dollar. You're just going maybe 150 cents, maybe 200 cents, maybe double. Okay? So I don't know what the Eagles offered, but I would guarantee you that I'd be shocked if it weren't more than what the Green Bay Packers offered. So we start with 2-1s. Start there and then throw in other picks and potentially a player or two. But I really don't know what the offer was other than to say the Eagles are a highly intelligent organization. They're not going to steal Micah Parsons from the Dallas Cowboys. If they're going to get Micah Parsons, they're going to have to be bold, aggressive, daring, and come in with an offer that is considerably stronger than anybody else's, whatever that is, and whatever it was. And I don't know what it was, but again, just common sense, of course, it was going to be considerably better than whatever it was that the Packers are offering and that the Eagles wound up making their last ditch pitch on.
Shefty, no team looked worse than the Miami Dolphins did in Week 1. Are they a team that we need to be keeping an eye on as a potential seller ahead of the trade deadline in November?
Well, it's one game, Chris, but obviously if that were to continue, yes. I mean, you can't look that bad on a Sunday and not think that team wouldn't be making changes. Any team that struggles into the trade deadline always is going to be looking to see if they could unload picks for players. It's just that's the rhythm of the season, the rhythm of the year. It's going to happen every single season that it goes on. And that was, a very disappointing